absolutely want to puke.
Here you go. Here's a tribute to America, baby. 59 million morons. Rednecks.
Now all us rednecks sure love incest. 'Cause sex just ain't as good unless it's family.
Right.
Because all us rednecks practice incest. Now I'm my only uncle and it worries me. My Aunt Esther took me with her back to her double wide. What a deal, ain't got no wheels and inside smelled like something died. She kissed my cheek and winked her eye and said, we're all alone in the house. But I got sick when she gave me a kiss, chewing tobacco in her mouth. All us rednecks sure love incest. 'Cause sex just ain't as good unless it's family. Because all us rednecks practice incest.
Are you sure?
So come meet my new wife. She's my niece. I just got me a farm with horses, chickens, cows, and pigs. A 4x4 that I adore, with tires that are too damn big. The rear window, it has a gun rack. That's where I keep my gun. Rebel flag and my wife in the back. My neck is red from too much sun. All us rednecks sure love incest. Rock solid. 'Cause sex just ain't as good unless it's family. Because all us rednecks practice incest. Oh! My sister is the one over there with the dirty knees. At reunions it's hard to choose who's got the nicest tooth. And I don't like the way my daddy has been watching me.
All right, 10:16 at 560 WQAM. Happy Thursday to you. We got to turn over a new leaf now, just like Adam.
Sieg Heil.
Turn over a new leaf and start goose-stepping along. And just, we got two pieces of very good news. See, not everything is glum and grim and nasty and grotesque. Most everything is, but not all of it. Well, actually, I got some more bad news later. But the good news is, number one, Arafart's in a coma. He's coughing up blood and spitting and puking. He's on the way out. Yeah. It's amazing because they said when he first came to Paris, they said, oh, no, he don't have leukemia. He doesn't have any life-threatening disease. And he's going to be okay.
Oh, we're fine.
And now all of a sudden he's in a coma. He's on the way out. So that's good news, I think. We hope.
Well, we don't know.
Well, you never know. It could be worse. And the other piece of good news is that Amendment 4 is going to pass. How do you like that?
All right.
In spite of the greatest efforts of special interests who are aligned to the public and trying to, feather their own nest, I can't go into the details, but I have it on an unimpeachable source this morning that they've been counting the absentee ballots feverishly. It's going to win pretty handily, as a matter of fact. So there's the good news, and I take a little bit of the credit for that. In fact, I also take a little bit of the credit for getting a lot of Kerry people out in Dade and Broward and Palm Beach, and where people could hear my voice. Too bad that some of the other people who were saying, oh, well, I'm going to beat Bush, talk a big game, didn't get it done. Because their disciples weren't they just weren't as devout as the disciples of Bush. See what I'm saying?
Oh, those scab pickers?
Some of these people who talk a big game and they're going to do this and and it just doesn't happen. But at any rate, so we got 45 minutes to fill today. Boy, that is just amazing. What's going on with Howie? That's 2 days in a row. Yesterday they bailed out around 10:20, and today about 10:13, something like that?
Like 10:11.
Works for me.
Sure.
Because at least then people have some idea of when the show starts. I know, Greg, that's a revolutionary concept, the idea that your listeners would want to have some idea when your show starts, but we're going to give it a shot for a while,
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, man, what a bozo. What a disaster. An accident waiting to happen. But nevertheless, we just keep plugging right along. And make sure that money shows up on time, Clarence. We're getting pretty tired of that crap, too. having to have a nervous breakdown every payday. Well, but good news and bad news. The monkey is on the way, but the bad news is he's got a fever today, and he's stopped for a rest along the highway. Cut the crap. Just pay people. Just quit screwing people over. Now, let's see. Where's the fax about that thing I was going to play? Oh, here it is. Billy S. It's a very nice fax. It says, I was feeling depressed throughout the whole day after I found out that Bush had officially won till I got home from work to listen to yesterday's program on the website. And we apologize again for the streaming on the website is all screwed up. And Clarence tells us that they are working feverishly, or at least they'll begin sometime within the next year to do something about that. Because everybody and their brothers tell me they're getting really pissed off about that. I know we don't make any money from that. But nevertheless, there are many people who are listeners of this program in this radio station who would like to be able to listen on the stream, okay? And if they don't get it fixed pretty soon, I might just have to come back there and unleash a stream on somebody's leg or head or something until they get on it. I'm telling you.
Bring the camera.
Get with it, fix it, you idiot. And don't ever think of coming up here again. Oh, anyway, it says, I'll tell you, you're the only person who's able to make me laugh, inform, educate, entertain all at once. Boy, what a suck job, huh? Thank you, Billy. You're the best thing going on radio, despite the word Gestapo police coming around. The word Gestapo. Keep it going. Don't retire. No, I'm not going to retire. In fact, I'm working on my future right as we speak. Future plans that have nothing to do with this place. In closing, can you play that Howard Dean bit where he's announcing all the states while mentioning the different alcoholic beverages? See, I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Says, I don't remember the name of the bit. If you can play it, it would be great. Thanks, Neil God, with several exclamation points. A magnificent suck-around job. The only one I know. With no booze. I don't know what it's...
Travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, Lava. We're going to South Carolina, and Oklahoma, and Arizona, and North Dakota, and New Mexico, and Texas, and New York. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. We're going to California, and New York, and we're going to South Dakota, and Oregon. I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. And North Dakota, and New Mexico, and the Boston, Charleston, Dayton, Louisiana, and Oregon. We're going to California and Texas. Santa Fe, Tallahassee, Glen Rock, Black Rock, Little Rock, Austin. We're going to South Dakota and Michigan. And Lake Devils, Lake Crater, Lake Eugene, Lake. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Yeah, there's an interesting article, which I will read a little later on, by John Nichols on in news, what is it? The Nation?
The Nation. Oh, that website?
I get it with an N, I knew that. About the fact that Karl Rove was ecstatic that Howard Dean got knocked out and that they wanted to run against Kerry. They were scared to death of Howard Dean.
How do you think W rewarded Karl Rove for his excellent
Howard Dean television commercial, take 47.
No, that's not it.
No, that's not it.
No, that's not it. They're just,
I don't know
that's
what he's talking about. That's it.
Huh?
Maybe you think those are booze days.
Howard Dean's out of the presidential race.
We are leaving one track, but we are going on another track.
Now, Howard pursues his true passion.
We're not dropping out.
Howard Dean sings the classic rock hits.
Phoenix, Arizona, South Carolina, Oklahoma, North Dakota, New Mexico, California, Texas, New York, Washington, Michigan, and then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Howard Dean sings classic rock.
Been flying into planes and kill people.
Yeah.
Those very vague warnings like that. Man, oh man. And Oprah, I'm going to tell you who I blame right now. Always has to be a scapegoat.
Oprah.
That's right. Now, these women in America, if she says run to the edge of the cliff and jump, they'll do it. Go out and buy this book. Go out and buy this book. And everybody gets a free... In fact, what's the name of that bit?
Oprah.
That everybody gets a free liver.
Oprah gives.
Oprah, yeah.
On the next Oprah, you'll be shocked. You'll be amazed.
Bitch.
You'll be talking about it for the next however long until she shocks you again. Oprah makes your wildest dreams come true. Today, everyone in the studio audience, all 276 members, get a brand new liver.
Everybody gets a liver!
276 studio audience members get a brand new uvula.
Everybody gets a brand new uvula! Everybody gets a brand new uvula!
The next day, all 276 members of the studio audience get a 3-foot helper monkey.
Everybody gets a 3-foot helper monkey! Everybody gets a 3-foot helper monkey!
The next day, all 276 audience members get a new prosthetic arm.
Everybody gets a prosthetic arm! Everybody gets a prosthetic arm!
Oprah, giving away great stuff she didn't have to pay for, even though she could easily afford to. And next season, everybody in the studio audience gets Stedman.
Everybody gets Stedman! Everybody gets Stedman! Shut up!
1027 at 560. That's the she's the chigger in the woodpile right there. I'll tell you right now. If she would have motivated and mobilized them women out there to come out and vote in the droves, in spite of all this fanatical moral values crowd, you know, like the fat ass governor and his moralistic family there with his drug addicted daughter. And his crazy as hell son, George P., and the other son that's screwing his girlfriend in a car in broad daylight outside the Tallahassee shopping center. And the smuggling wife, Columba, that didn't want him to see how much money she's spending allegedly, but is smuggling it back in because the Bushes can't afford to pay the duty on it. Yeah, that's moral values, man. You talk about stupid. You talk about a bunch of phony baloney hypocrites. In fact, I'm going to play that Columba Bush thing. I'm playing it all today, you know?
There you go. Why not?
Plus, we got a lot of calls that we're trying to get in, but then we'll get to them. We'll make appointments after 10:30. 1027 at 560 WQAM. Right now, let me tell you about our good friends at Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach. With over 275 different mortgage programs available to them, they will find a mortgage for you, no matter what your situation is. Recently, they helped out a listener of ours who never dreamed in a million years that he'd be able to qualify to buy his own home, but he gave it a shot. And the good news is, not only were they able to qualify him, but they were able to present him 3 different options as to the type of mortgage he could get. And they worked closely with him to determine which was best, and then they made it happen. That's Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach. They can make it happen for you. Call them at 1-800-734-6616, whether you're looking for an interest-only loan, a 30-year fixed rate,
About 30, man!
or one of the many low-rate adjustable mortgages. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach has what you'll be needing. They offer payments as low as $332 for every $100,000 you borrow, and Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach will make your mortgage happen first, and then they'll even send you on a cruise. That is correct. After you close your loan with Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, you'll be able to choose one of 6 different 7-night cruises, compliments of Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers. So don't forget, whether you want to purchase a new home, an investment property, or just refinance that current mortgage, these are the people you want to be calling right now. 1-800-734-6616, or on the wicked web, it's GuaranteedMortgageBankers.com, where you'll be treated, by the way, just like family. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, 1-800-734-6616.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM. Bush. Tomorrow!
Hello, suckers. My name is Columba. I got off the plane after shopping in France to piss your money away. I bought designer clothes, expensive bottles and jewels, and knew in advance the duty tax was due. I tried very hard to smuggle, and they wouldn't let me buy. But I did not get in trouble, 'cause I'm the governor's wife. Yes, I'm just obedient wife who wants to live up my life with special favors. After all, my husband's brother will soon be your dictator. I'm like Florida Vida, I buy anything I need and just one thing more. I'll be just risking family values when I get back from the store.
Oh, yeah. Great moral values, man. And look at that, the Guardian supplement. You look at that on CNN where it says, "Oh, God."
Oh, sorry. No.
Just a big black page and it says, "Oh, God." In other words...
Oh, my God.
No, that's beautiful. That's a great thing.
Harry,
a lot of
this was
images
met
that I want to see
with very mixed reactions and some very strong reactions in the United States. Many people writing emails, writing to the newspaper, accusing the newspaper of urging its viewers, its readers, rather, to interfere with another country's election.
Too bad. Yeah, sometimes it's too bad that they didn't keep that campaign going in Ohio. They might have they knew it was going to make the difference, the Guardian. And there's another headline that said, in Britain, how can 59 million Americans be so dumb? Easy. They had a good American education, just like that. Anyway, so there's the Columba Bush deal. We'll play all of that Bush stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
I will mention this because, it just came in. Federal judge orders Broward and Dade not to destroy absentee ballots. Acting on a case filed by the ACLU, a federal judge in Miami has ordered officials in Broward and Dade to preserve all absentee ballots received in the mail after 7 p.m. on Election Day. U.S. District Judge Alan Gould's ruling, posted overnight on the court's website, bars election officials from discarding the ballots, goes into effect at 1 p.m. Thursday. Sounds like today. The delay gives the elections officials time to complete the unofficial vote count, which is due at noon today. The 11-page temporary restraining order requires election supervisor Brenda Snipes in Broward and Constance Kaplan in Dade to separate the ballots from others that were rejected because they were duplicates or not filled out properly. Gould has scheduled a hearing this evening on the ACLU's request for a preliminary injunction. He's expected to rule early next week on whether the late ballots should be included in the final vote tally. Yada, yada, yada. The judge's order does not apply to other counties. And I'll say it again. Amendment 4 is going to pass. We'll be hearing about that at noon or 1 or sometime this afternoon with official, well, maybe not official numbers, but pretty good idea. It's going to pass fairly comfortably.
And they heard it here first.
And they heard it here first, absolutely, from an unimpeachable source. Okay, let's get a few calls in here because I don't want to, do any of the grade A stuff during this foreplay hour. And if you're just wandering over here, and Howard bailed out again 11 minutes after 10 this morning, which we're not really too thrilled about, you know? Because he gets you spoiled. He gets you in the habit of doing those 1045, 1050 deals, 1055, right. 11, stuff like that, you know. Piece of cake like falling off a log. WQAM, hello.
Neil, good morning.
Yes, sir.
These are the same people in Broward who couldn't get the absentee ballots out. They're going to hang on to them for us, right?
Right.
Hey, Neil, I was going to ask you really think 4? I was thinking that Jeb and Tallahassee were going to get their hands on Amendment 4 the way they were calling it so close.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about, too, but guess what? It didn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great news.
Because they had a tremendous number of absentee ballots from Dade and Broward and Palm Beach where they voted overwhelmingly yes, and I guess they were counting feverishly overnight, and it's moved way to hell ahead. So there's no way by hook or crook they're going to be able to... I know they gave it their best shot. They tried to, send it a bunch of... When you find out where the money against it, which they tried to keep secret, all of that, when you find out where that was coming from, it'll really blow your mind.
Oh, you could see that on that thing you had on your website with the people who were supporting it, if you just did a little look-see on your website. Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What you say about Karl Rove is so right. I almost puked when I was listening to that speech Bush gave when he introduced him as I want to thank the architect, Karl Rove.
Oh.
And I almost drove my car off the bridge.
Wanted to thank the Fuhrer-in-Chief.
Unbelievable.
Cheer up a little, Pally. Life goes on, man.
Neil, check it out. Last year, you got to remember, they were saying, we want Dean. And there was just something totally wrong then. And the Democrats bought it also, and they anointed Kerry in Iowa. And
that's right.
Heaven help us, brother. See you later.
Good luck to us, Pally. All right. 5670560, pound 560 of the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. Yeah, if I tell you that, gambling is evil and it's horrible and it's going to destroy our state and everything else, and then all of a sudden you find out that I'm in the gambling business myself and I'm funding the campaign against this only to protect my own selfish interests, oh, man.
Are you implying hypocrisy or something insane like that?
Okay. No, I'm not implying. I'm saying flat out. It's a fact. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I'd like to speak to Neil.
Speaking. Let me say it again. Speaking.
Oh, hello, Neil. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, that's great.
All right. All right. Well, he just wanted to make sure that I'm still okay, I guess, and not too down in the dumps. No, I feel just fine. Yesterday I woke up feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach with a baseball bat. I felt really, maybe because I didn't get any sleep. Like a fool being up till 2 in the morning, and then, then you lay down, and you can't sleep anyway until you really kept running to the other room and looking at the TV, and, getting farther behind in Ohio. And let me just say this to you. Oh, man. I don't know what show I was watching last night. It's all a blur, because it's all the same American crap anyway, propaganda. But they were showing Columbus, Ohio. Oh, brother. I sure hope they don't know the Rimmers are Jewish. Uh-oh. But seriously, they were showing Columbus, Ohio, and they showed all of these very neatly mowed lawns with all the Bush Cheney signs on the lawn. And they were interviewing some of the God Squad in Columbus. And the one couple, and maybe some of you people saw this, they looked exactly like the couple from the picture of the painting American Gothic. With the old guy with the glasses, and all he needed was the pitchfork, this guy, and it would have been, they could have posed for American Gothic. And that's all they talked about was, well, I really appreciate that, the fact that he really ain't afraid to talk about his religion and his faith in God. And we're going to make a real revolution in this country. We're back on with God and get this country back on the path with God. In other words, kill a whole bunch of people. That's what it's all about. Start a lot of wars based on lies. Send a bunch of young kids off to get slaughtered based on lies. That's morality. Giving tax cuts to the very rich, that's morality.
Sure.
Looking the other way at your rich buddies like Kenny Lay, who are ripping off, raping the public, that's morality. Overcharging senior citizens for prescription drugs to help your buddies in the pharmaceutical industry, that's morality. I mean, you're trying to reason with religious crazy people, and you can't reason with them. There's no point. You're wasting your time. So what the Democrat, and I watch all these talking heads going on about, well, the Democrats are going to have to reassess their whole program and their whole approach, and they're going to have to start reaching out to some of these people that they've ignored. No, they're not going to have to start reaching out to those people. What they're going to have to start doing is doing an even better job of mobilizing the people who are scared crapless of those people.
Right.
And who don't want any part of those people.
That's why you got people like Nader, because they're too busy trying to be all, middle of the road.
Well, you know something? I hate to say this because he's a pompous old ass. And he had no business being in there, and he didn't make any difference. He almost made a difference in New Hampshire, but luckily he did not.
Right, insignificant.
But the fact of the matter is, a lot of what he said was true.
Sure, we're not denying that.
Yeah, a lot of what he said is true. The Democratic Party is just absolutely, this business of, allowing them to make the word liberal a dirty word, which they've done for the last 20-some years now. There's nothing wrong with being a liberal. The greatest presidents, like Franklin Roosevelt, were liberals. Look up liberal in the dictionary. Liberal is it's something to be proud of, something to be admired.
All of the founding fathers
were liberals. That is correct. As opposed to right-wing fanatics, which, like I keep telling you, that used to be, they used to be laughed at, feared a little bit, but mostly laughed at. I mean, these people are crazy. Back in the 70s, they started with this moral majority crap, and Richard Viguerie and all the mailing lists, and Anita Bryant and Alvin Dark and all of this crap. And you'll notice, here we are almost 30 years later.
About 30, man.
And they're still playing on the same hate. Oh, it's the homosexuals. This time they used the gay marriage thing, which obviously had I bet you if that thing wouldn't have been on a ballot in Ohio, we might have had a different result. I mean, I can't say that for sure, but might have, because there's only about 135,000 vote difference. And you know that those good moral Christians, they came out to vote in droves against them fag marriages, as if this was an issue. I mean, all of these really important issues about the economy and about war and people dying and protecting us from terrorist attacks of crazy people, and they're worried about fag marriages. That's really going to change their lives. In fact, that couple in Columbus, they were talking about that. Wow, marriage is the foundation of it's the institution that's the foundation of our democracy, and blah, 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 and we can't mess with it. So you can be damn sure that they'll help to motivate them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they laid this out there. They played the Democrats for suckers like they do every time. And Nader's right about that. Democratic Party, like I've told you, we got two horrible parties in this country. In your country, I'm sorry, excuse me. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. Not there, wow. Talk about impatient. WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I seriously do not know whether to scream or eat a bunch of bananas.
Okay, Chiquita.
I'm very nervous. I'm very scared. I don't like where this is all going. It seems like our government, I don't know, they want to turn us into white bread, mayonnaise, homogenized Bible school.
Yes, very white.
And it's frightening because, I mean, there are places that people can certainly go if they want to be with God. They can go to churches and synagogues and mosques, and
or
that's
they can
fine.
just go to hell, yeah.
They can go there too. That would be fine with me. But it seems that they really want to bring it into the government. They want the government, might as well on top of the Capitol building have a big crucifix. And they'd be very happy to sit under it and pontificate and...
The big twisted cross.
It's very frightening, and I really don't like the way this is going.
Well, they just did another one. There are 80,000 polls on CNN. They showed the reaction of the public to the result of the election. 51% are pleased, 38% are angry, and another 9% don't care. Well, how can you not care? How can you be indifferent after what we've gone through the last 4 years? I just don't get that. And see, that's the problem. The 51%, which coincidentally is what voted for Bush, they're so highly motivated as opposed to a lot of the rest of the public, like, come see, come saw. You can't afford to have an attitude like that.
Not anymore. I mean,
and that's why those people were lined up around the block and down the road and up to Aunt Mary's house and over to Rosa Lopez's house with the Virgin Mary. That's why they were lined up for miles, because they were motivated and dedicated and fanatically driven.
And so, but did the rest of us, the millions and millions, the rest of us stand in those incredibly long lines and register in record numbers to keep things the way they are?
No,
it doesn't make sense. Things don't match up.
Yeah.
It seriously doesn't, and I get very frightened because of the Ohio vote being run by Diebold, of all people.
Yeah, we'll never know. You'll never know how accurate that was. I mean, 135,000 votes wouldn't take much in a computer program to shift that around. We just will never know.
A touch of a finger in certain places would certainly wipe out a good portion of the way it should have gone.
I think I felt the finger myself. I didn't feel good either.
I love you, and, we'll just stick together and, huddle in one nice blue state and call it,
Well, at least we'll have plenty to bitch about the next 4 years anyway.
It will make for good radio.
Right.
I love you very much.
Hang in there, sweetheart. Bye-bye. Here's a nice fax from your friend P.R. Ralph wishing me a happy birthday, which is tomorrow. I'll be 62 tomorrow. How do you like that? They never said it could happen, but I will.
God.
Yeah. In fact, I think Russian roulette on your birthday could be a lot of fun, No, I'm just not that depressed anymore, because I've always said people get what they deserve. The only problem being in America, almost half of the people didn't want any part of this, and those people should be able to live like in a free country, like the North. And all these mugwumps, since most of them live there anyway, should live in the South. Let's go back to that whole pre-Civil War, that whole mentality of, two countries, the North and the South.
North should not have fought that war. Should have let him go.
And you mugwumps in Montana and Idaho and Utah, all them, we can shovel them down south, all right? New Mexico, there's plenty of open land in New Mexico, Arizona.
Reallocate.
Nevada. Although there's evil gambling in Nevada, we sure don't want to send them there. There's that horrible evil gambling. And you'll notice that, like the Southern Baptists, when they have their conventions, where do they go?
Vegas.
Right. Because they believe in moral values, baby. Man, you show me a religious fanatic who isn't a hypocrite, and I'll show you a miracle. I'll show you a 1 in a trillion, because I don't think that animal exists. WQAM, hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Getting ready to shoot myself here with this thing that's going on.
Don't do it, Pally. Don't do it.
It's amazing.
Don't give him the satisfaction. Maybe shoot yourself in the toe.
If you don't mind, just something really quick. There's a website out there. It's called smartdecals.com.
What is it? Smart what?
Smartdecals.com.
Okay.
And they actually they do decals and shirts and things like that. And they have a new Pledge of Allegiance. It says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the divided states of America and for the idiots for which it stands, one nation under Bush with Bibles and lies for all.
I love it.
It's amazing how everything has been turned around, and even with the facts in hand, they know the facts and they just choose to ignore them.
What does that tell you? It's like, but at least they're consistent, because when you're dealing with religious nuts and you present the facts and you lay them out very rationally to them about the whole religion thing and about all of their beliefs, it doesn't make any difference, because they're beyond that. They're not able to absorb any of that. They don't want to absorb it. They already know the truth. They got the answers, and the truth be damned.
I was having a conversation with someone who was voting for Bush, and I said, well, what do you have for the fact? What's making you vote for Bush? What is it that you like about him? Oh, I just have a gut feeling. Oh, so the facts don't mean...
Yeah, I got a gut feeling, too. I can't describe it.
So the facts don't mean anything to you.
Right.
The fact that this guy has lied...
Maybe God told him.
Oh, the fact that this guy has lied since day one doesn't mean anything to you. No, I just have a gut feeling. Because, he went into Iraq because of 9/11. And he didn't go to Iraq because of 9/11. Iraq has nothing to do with 9/11.
Don't forget, half of America still believes that Saddam, A, had weapons of mass destruction, and B, had something to do with 9/11. So, how do you deal with that?
You can't. You know what? These people deserve what they get.
Yeah, but the rest
of
the
public
doesn't.
Next year, when you do your taxes, you're going to get a Bible with every tax return.
All right. Okay, thanks a lot, Pally.
Thank you. Check that website out. It's a great site.
Let me write it down. What is it again?
SmartDecals.com.
Got it. Thanks.
They have a lot of stickers, a lot of Kerry stuff. It's a great site. I purchased probably most of my check goes there.
Okay, I'll see you at the border, Pally. Thanks.
Great, man. Pray for us.
Okay. Now, as far as the border is concerned, I just want to tell you this, because yesterday I had a chance to talk to some people here in Toronto, and these people here from the cab drivers and everybody, the business people, anybody I know. They can't believe it. They're not just depressed. They're in a state of shock. They just can't believe that the public in America did this again. You know that old saying that they have in Texas and in Tennessee? Fool me once, shame on me, and fool me can't get fooled again. Whatever the hell he was mumbling. You know, something about some illiterate crap like he was always mumbling. And that's what happened with the American public. But I want to say it again, and this is where they really snook it in the media. They snook it in the bloggers and everybody else. They didn't realize they hit them blindsided. I'm not saying that all those long lines were because obviously a lot more, Kerry got 4 million votes more than Gore did. The only problem is that Bush got 7.5 million more votes this time than he did 4 years ago. And where did those other 3.5 million votes come from? Like I told you yesterday, they came from the evangelical Christians, baby. The same people who sat it out in 2000 because of that DUI, which is, how childish is that in the first place? Here's a guy that already admits that he was a drunk and a cokehead, and you name it, piece of turd. But that DUI, baby, that's kept them home because he wasn't perfect, I guess. But now that he's had 4 years to show him that he's a perfect idiot, now they came out in droves on Tuesday, in rows, and there they were, almost 4 million of them. That's true. That be the true. They came out in enormous, humongous numbers. And women of America, man, you ought to hang your heads in shame, okay? That was pathetic. The safety moms. Oh, God. All these cliches, man, just make you want to puke. The dumber-than-crap moms is what they're talking about. The moms that don't mind sending their kids off to get slaughtered, human sacrifice. It's worth it. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
I want you to know that we're not impatient, but when we call on a cell phone and it rings and rings, then the phone company cuts us off, so we have to try to call back in.
Well, that's that damn phone company for you again, man.
That's why you get it. I just want to let you know, I firmly believe that this election was totally rigged. And I'll give you an example. Down in Broward, my sister-in-law took somebody to vote in the polls. We're helping them out, and they went in there and voted for Kerry, and it came up as Bush.
Right, yeah, I've talked to other people who had the same experience.
Brought it to the attention of the election officials, and they so-called changed the vote. Well, if that's just a coincidence, it could have happened all over the place. There's no way of proving it because there's no paper trail or anything like that, but I firmly believe they made it close enough to make it look legit, and I'm totally of the belief that this whole election was totally rigged.
Well, don't forget the Diebold factory in Ohio, man. When the president of the company told us a year and a half ago that he was going to do everything in his power to make sure that Bush won.
You're absolutely right.
And he only won in Ohio by 135,000 votes. If Kerry, forget about Florida. If Kerry wins Ohio, it's all over.
You're absolutely right, and we love you and everything else. And best regards from Larry the Map Man in Orlando and Boca Berry.
All right, thanks a lot, pal.
Bye bye.
Hang in there. Yeah, it could have been rigged, but crying like spilt milk now ain't going to get the job done. There's just nothing you can do about it. Never can be proven. We know for sure. See, this is another thing. It's just the fact that he won Florida is so shocking and so astonishing, just so amazing. When they stuck it to the people of Florida right in broad daylight 4 years ago and stole the election and put us through the most agonizing, the most humiliating, degrading, and embarrassing bunch of crap. When they turned people away who had a legitimate right to vote, when they did everything in their power to disenfranchise minorities, and he wins Florida by, almost 300,000 votes? It's enough to make you belch your guts out. Enough to give you, enormous pockets of gas. Although, as far as the gas is concerned, I think a lot of us will be getting that pretty soon. Thank you, Mr. President, for those low gas prices and all the free gas, too, that we're going to be inhaling very soon, and toxic fumes. At least a good job he did on the environment. Let's see. Ian Fromowitz, my good buddy over there at Woodbine, says, happy birthday and many, many more. See you at Woodbine. What a good guy. I'll see you over there. Find me some hot slot machines over there, Ian, please, okay? He must be listening online, old Ian Fromowitz.
When he can.
And say hi to my old friend Randy Waples, too, by the way. Tell him to butch it up a little bit lately. Let's see. Here's one that says, did you see huge W's behind Bush during his acceptance speech? This is a good point. Apparently the letter W is the new swastika. Yeah. I guess that must be it, okay? W. Wow, that's so cute. See, we can laugh a little bit. Although I can laugh a lot more than most of you can because I'm not there. Yeah, too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad. Well, we'll get the show officially started in about 7 minutes. See, this hour is fine because it's very I don't know, how do you describe it? Very informal, very laid back. There's no pressure. It's like it's like a dry run, so to speak. In fact, I think that's what Tuesday was. Now let's have a real election.
Yeah.
WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, I have a question for you. Of course, I'm sickened like everybody else is, but I wonder why, because I heard that the seniors obviously went Kerry's way in Florida. Why did the Latin vote go so heavily towards Bush? What is
that's a good question, and it's not just the Cubans, which we knew. In fact, there were fewer Cubans voted for Bush this time than last time, but the Latins in general, meaning Puerto Ricans and, in fact, they keep talking about the... Go ahead, what is it?
Mexican.
No,
Mexican. No, but the I-4 corridor in Florida, which they keep calling it, up there, Orlando, from Tampa across to Cocoa Beach, whatever that is, heavy Puerto Rican and Latin population, and they voted overwhelmingly for Bush. And he got 44%. They kept saying if he got more than 40%, it would be a miracle. He got 44% of the Latin vote nationwide. I don't know what that's all about. I have no idea. And, of course, the way they pandered to the illegal aliens, and, which is totally non-Republican as far as the position is concerned politically, that probably had something to do with it.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Neil.
Good luck to us, Pally. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, when they promised all the illegal aliens a 57 Chevy and a voter registration card and all the other freebies, and a few lottery tickets. Oh, yeah, guess what? I never checked the lotto numbers last night.
Oh, you better do that.
That would be great. Isn't that going to be exciting? I think when we come back at the top of the hour, I'm going to check the lotto numbers and check I've got 40 tickets. In fact, I got them right here. Here they are. There's the Lotto 649, November 3rd, 2004. And I'm going to check these against the numbers. And it was only 10 million last night, though, which I guess isn't all that much. It's Canadian A, so it's only 8.2 million. And the American dollar, by the way, continues to drop. And I better check it again before I speak. I don't want to speak out of turn. But let me just say this to you. Let me take a puke at it. Oh, there's Ted David, my former good friend. And the Gambling Channel, another one of those kind. Let's see. Is it coming up here? I want to see the price of oil. Because I noticed... Oh, look at that. The Dow was up pretty good. Now it's only up about a point. You'll see that coming back to earth now. And the Nasdaq's already down 10. See, now that they goosed the markets up real nice those last 3 or 4 days with that phony rally, now they'll start coming right back to where they ought to be and dropping like a rock. But I had noticed the price of oil was up over $50 a barrel again. You think that's just a coincidence or what? Huh? Yeah. I guess Bandar Bush got the green light. Okay, Bandar, crank it up again, man. Let's get it up to about $60 a barrel by the end of the week. And I think they're working on it feverishly. So I'm going to check those lotto tickets, and if I get to $10 million, George, I bet you're going to do a great show.
Or something.
Yeah. Well, if you had any idea what I would like to tell certain people in that building, you can't even begin to imagine. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
10:56 at 560 WQAM. It's that time of the year again. The snowbirds and their relatives coming down from the north for the winter time, and this winter, why not give them something special? A great night's sleep on a new mattress from Dial a Mattress, where you'll find the complete line of the top names in the bedding business: Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Coil, Tempur-Pedic, even Stearns and Foster Hewitt. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and save an additional 20% off on their super low factory direct prices on select models, too. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and pick the day and time for delivery. Any 2-hour window that's convenient for you when you're going to be home any day, 7 days a week from 8 in the a.m. till 10 in the p.m. All the smart folks are calling Dial a Mattress because you can't beat their deal. Low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal. So instead of schlepping around from your bedding and department stores back and forth, wasting time, gas, and a lot of cash, call Dial a Mattress. It's easy to see why they're ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. Dial a Mattress even got the prestigious Better Business Bureau's Torch of Excellence Award. So give them a call today, and you'll be sleeping like a baby tonight and for years to come. 1-800-MATTRESS. Online, it's mattress.com. But make that call right now, and they can be there before the end of the day. 1-800-MATTRESS.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
If you find yourself with a fever that's high, pretty good chance you're gonna die. It's no joke, I'm not being mean. They just didn't make enough vaccine. You can get a flu shot because they didn't make enough shots. You can get a flu shot. Shivering away. Go see a doctor, he gives you the scoop. Stay in bed and have some chicken soup. He will say, I helped my friend. get a flu shot. Get used to blowing green snot. You can't get a flu shot. Go home and pray. You can't get a flu shot.
Well, see, I did a bad thing. What I did is I looked up to see if anybody won, and nobody won. So I knew right off the bat I didn't win the $10 million because I can see it's going to be $17 million on Saturday.
Oh, better luck done then.
Because it rolls over. Yeah, why win it with $10 million when, you know, you can win $17 million like 3 days later? I don't think I even got 3 on here anywhere, which I never do that. This was extraordinarily bad. 10, 18, 19, 37, 43, 48, and the bonus number is 12. I got some with a couple here, but this is pretty lame, which I think is pretty a good omen for Saturday, don't you?
Yeah.
Because I had the 5 out of 6, a week ago, which only was $1,600, which is pretty crappy. For example, 5 out of 6 this time is like $2,700. Let's see. I'm just finishing checking these up. Bear with me, okay? Because if I wind up, because there was one winner with 5 plus the bonus out of 6, which is $405 grand.
You go ahead and cipher. We'll just enjoy this.
No, I just let's see, 31, 47. I didn't do crap, man. I didn't do anything this time. This is pretty depressing. Didn't come close to anything, and these aren't like real unusual numbers or anything. It just didn't lay out for me. You know what I mean?
That was just 10 million anyway, small potato.
18, 20, 33, 42, 48. Well, there's one with 2 again. You don't get nothing for 2, though. 37, 48. There's another one with 2. Don't get nothing for that. 18, didn't get crap. Didn't get a dime. $80 down the toilet, baby. Easy come, easy go. Of course, I'll be getting that back in my tax breaks from President Bush, so I don't have to worry about that at all with the kind of income I got. President Bush is going to make sure I get a lot more tax breaks.
Oh!
Oh, man. Not even 3. Isn't that depressing? I mean, 3 is only $5, but at least it's kind of an oral victory, you know.
It's something.
Anyway, let's get this show going now. Let's get rid of that you could be a winner thing on there with a Canadian lottery. Oh, sorry. Didn't do it. Wouldn't that have been great if I would have won it right on the air? Wow.
That'd have been something.
I would let out a good shry, and then you would have heard that thing you're always dreading, you know, that silence.
Yeah. All right. I got lots of Irish music.
You would have heard the sounds of silence, and that would have been it. I'll send you a card. I'll send you that card and maybe a check for your birthday. Although I doubt it. Let's see. No, maybe a bigger one, as a matter of fact. So pray for that lottery on Saturday. Even you too, Josh.
I'll sacrifice a chicken.
2,770 votes on a poll yesterday, which applies to your feelings about the election result. That's what we asked our listeners out there. Here's what they said. Sad and depressed, and thanks to Jane who faxed that suggestion, and we didn't even have that on there, but you see the way it passed everything else like they were standing still. Sad and depressed, 911. Pissed off, 733 are fired up and pissed off. Suicidal, 431. Glad it's over, 294. Ecstatic, 181. That's 6.5%. They're dancing. Oh, yeah, we got the Bush won. We won. Thank God. Praise Jesus. Ecstatic, 6.5%. Pleased, 118, 4.2. So that's 10.7%. Indifferent, 53. And what result, 49. What me worry, 49. So 10.7% of this audience was either pleased or ecstatic that their Fuhrer got in there again. Oh, I shouldn't say that because Hitler was a lot smarter than this guy. It's just the people around this guy who, like, take you aback. JW in Boca says, I was listening to Howard this morning on QM. When the signal got real scratchy, I switched over to the Palm Beach station 103.1, The Buzz. Not only is QM bleeping Howard way more, but QM completely dumped out of a Howard segment 2 or 3 minutes before the bit was over. Says, I love you, but I'll probably catch Howard on FM more in the future. Regarding Bush, I can't believe the ignorant bliss of the American public, says JW in Boca. Well, there you go. That's not sounding pretty good about that Howard situation on QAM. Here's Carlos in Pompano who says, perhaps all the Latinos voted for Bush because the Spirit of Christ compelled them. That's definitely a possibility.
Jesus Christ.
I never really thought about that. That might have been it.
The power of Christ compels you.
It was either the Spirit of Christ or the power of Christ or both.
Remember what the Pope told
The power of Christ compels you.
Could have been the power of FP&L when you come right down to it.
The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah.
Compels you.
Anyway. So that's that facts from Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. That's a good point. Now, what are we doing now? Oh, the beaded curtain today is Carmen Electra. We don't have to waste any time with that. I don't need the whole... nobody needs... If you need an introduction to Carmen Electra, then you're not qualified to be looking back there, okay?
Just Google her after you Oogle her.
Yeah, that's right. Just give her a little Google. Oh, and I think also I don't want to start giving Eric instructions while we're on the air, because you never know if he can even hear me.
Off and on.
But is it really still?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I guess I better vote here. That's a pretty tough choice here today on that poll we got for today. Anyway, I was going to say we can probably now, not probably, but we need to get rid of, clean up that website so we can get more people right to the meat of the matter.
Okay.
In fact, I'll go to the homepage right now and take a look at all the... Oh, there's Karl Rove, man. There's Hermann Goering, Jr. Look at that. What a piece of crap.
So do you think the president will give him what he wants now?
Rectum.
Okay, let's see. Images from the 3 debates is Bush wired. That can go. We can get rid of that. The finger, we can get that. The electronic vote. Bush's brain, though, I think we need to leave that one on there. That's very popular, right?
We got some new stuff from Robert that I just sent to you.
Great. Get rid of the other Bush thing. Pentagon strike I would prefer to leave on there for in perpetuity. Okay? So we can clean that up, and if you got a couple of new things to put on there, that's fine, too. I just mentioned that in passing. Because I don't want to have... there's no... Not that those things aren't important for people to see, but it's kind of a moot point now anyway.
Right.
If they didn't get the message already, it's too late to turn back now, as Cornelius Brothers and Sister Rose said. I like that song. It was okay. Kind of syrupy, but it was all right. Cornelius Brothers and Sister Rose. In fact, if I had it, I'd play it. I'm sure you got it there somewhere.
Somewhere.
It surprised me, but don't knock yourself out.
All right.
Here's the poll today. Arafat's in a coma, by the way, in case you missed that. Arafat's in a coma. The Amendment 4 is going to pass. It's fine as wine. Have no fear. Here's the poll today. Which of these is most accurate? Bush won the election because of Karl Rove, of 9/11, because of born-again nut jobs, because of fear and stupidity, because he was a better choice than Kerry, or because the Democrats are inept. Now, that's a tough choice. That is, but you'll have to make a selection, just like the election. That was a easy choice, and they still made it tough. Didn't seem all that tough to me when you come right down to it. Now, here's a bad story. Too bad we didn't have this right before the election. And you'll notice Sunday night, not this past Sunday, but this coming Sunday, CNN is running this big documentary about the Saudis.
Right.
Did you see the promos for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This coming Sunday, 5 days after the election is over. About the side to guard the materials watched helplessly, soldiers told the L.A. Times. This is just unacceptable is what it is. Unacceptable. About a dozen U.S. troops, that's all, were guarding the sprawling facility in the weeks after the April 2003 fall of Baghdad. When Iraqi looters raided the site, the newspaper quoted a group of unidentified soldiers as saying, U.S. Army reservists and National Guardsmen witnessed the looting, and some soldiers sent messages to commanders in Baghdad requesting help, but received no reply, they said. It was complete chaos. It was looting like L.A. during the Rodney King riots, one officer said. The eyewitness accounts reported by the Times are the first provided by U.S. soldiers and bolster claims that the U.S. military had failed to safeguard the powerful explosives, the newspaper said. Hey, about that election, yeah, I think let's turn the clock back a couple of days, please. Pretty please. Cracker, please. Iraq official told the UN International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, last month that about 380 tons of high-grade explosives had been taken from the Al-Qaqa facility. Soldiers who belonged to 2 different units described how Iraqis snatched explosives from unsecured bunkers and drove off with them in pickup trucks. The soldiers who spoke to the Times asked to remain unidentified, saying they feared retaliation from the Pentagon. No Schmidt. The soldiers said they could not confirm that the looters took the especially powerful explosives known as HMX and RDX. One soldier, however, said U.S. forces saw looters load trucks with bags marked hexamine, which is a key ingredient for HMX. One senior non-commissioned officer said troops were running from one side of the compound to the other side, trying to kick people out, and at least 100 vehicles were at the site waiting for the military to leave so they could loot the munitions. Isn't that lovely? Didn't we do a great job?
Spectacular.
4 soldiers who are members of the Germany-based 317th Support Center and the 258th Rear Area Operations Center,
Rectum,
an Arizona-based Army National Guard unit, said the looting happened over several weeks in late April, early May of 2003. Asked about the soldiers' accounts, Pentagon spokeswoman Roseanne Lynch told the newspaper, we take the report of missing munitions very seriously. We're looking into the facts and circumstances of this incident. In other words, she ain't got nothing to say. Too embarrassing. Plus, guess what? The election's over. Yeah, that's big. And you religious nuts out there, man. The rest of us don't want any part of you, okay? We don't want to hear about the Jesus Christ. Believe whatever you want. That's what America's all about. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech. Used to be anyway. No. Believe what you want. But leave us alone. Will you leave us alone? No. That's what they won't do. That's what they won't do. They're going to save us. They're going to drag us by the arm whether we want to go along or not. They're schlepping us across that street right in the middle of an oncoming Mack truck.
Because they have Fizz.
God dang it. Gosh darn it. Gosh damn it. I can say that still. Gosh damn it. I can say,
ew, God.
Comma, damn it. See, there was a comma in there.
I see. The comma before the
just like that was a little raspberry. Or maybe it's some other fruit. 12 minutes after 11 at 560 WQAM. Just cheer up, folks, okay? It's going to get a lot worse. Now's the time to save like never before at Armstrong Ford of Homestead, because these folks have got to clear out all the remaining 04s to make room for those great 2005s. So you're going to save like never before on all remaining 04s in stock, ready for immediate delivery, if not sooner. And all the 05s are in and ready to roll out. Plus, for a limited time, you can get yourself 0% financing on any of the following: Explorers, Escapes, Focuses, Tauruses, and Mustangs. Certain restrictions apply. The lots at Armstrong Ford Homestead are jammed like crazy with more 05s arriving every day, so they're cutting prices to get those 04s out of there, and you're going to save a ton. Armstrong Ford offers you more value to its loyal customers, too, because when you buy your Ford at Armstrong Ford of Homestead, you get their exclusive tires and batteries for life. So if you've been jonesing for a new car but been putting it off, wait not another minute. David Rich and the staff at Armstrong Ford of Homestead will guarantee you the best price. And don't forget, these folks are locally owned and operated. They'll treat you well. You won't get a better deal in town anywhere. No bait and switch, no phony deals, no arm twisting, no games with your credit cards, your keys, your thing. Armstrong Ford of Homestead at 30725 South Dixie Highway, just 20 minutes south of the 836. Check them out on the web at ArmstrongCars.com and then drive a little and save thousands and thousands and zillions on that new Ford. Only at Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Howard David's the bitch.
Absolutely.
I'm back to getting it on, my friend. I found a new sub-bitch. I'm banging Darren Kagan, who got her name from Bewitched. Can you smell my bloat, Darren Kagan? She's got my face grinning. My friends, I'm shoveling those pills down. Oh, not the pills you think. My friends, I'm almost up to an inch. And let me tell you, she makes my fingers sting. When I noodle and pinch. A liberal feminazi who's been with guys that I hate. But I'm lucky to get any. So I disregard the taint, my friend. You will listen and obey Darren Kagan. Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? You gold-digging slut! Don't chew up your cuddly fur ball! You understand, of course, this leaves me with no alternative than to be with Matt Drudge for a receptacle. But I do it with tears.
Hop a couple more, Rushy. See, that's that moral values crowd they're talking about. You know, Bill O'Reilly and Rush. Bob Novak, you know, who outed Valerie Plame. How come we're not hearing any more about that? I guess we just won't hear no more about Joseph Wilson and Valerie Plame, all of those things.
Shut up, commie fag.
About that yellow cake in Niger, all of those things.
Cake.
We just won't hear about that because it's small potatoes. I just keep rechecking these lotto tickets, and I'm really sorry to say, nothing. That's bad.
It's not going to appear.
Well, I'm hoping that maybe I missed something there, you know? See, that's why you got to go out and buy about $500 worth, because you're probably still not going to get nothing, but it'll kill a lot of good time. Anyway, here's one, the fact that says, another choice for the poll because he had more money behind him. Yeah, we can put that on there.
Turn later this month to finish this current session.
Yeah, let's finish it. Let's get it over with and get you out of there. Because he had more money behind him. Josh, stick that on there if you want, or if not, that's okay. I really don't care, you know. I'm easy to get along with today. Anyway, here's the liner. Nothing could be finer than to read a snappy liner. Look for the QM van right now at the Shell station on the corner of 27th Avenue and US 1 in Miami. Stop by to pick up a pair of passes to the auto show that starts tomorrow at the Miami Beach Convention Center. I can't believe we're actually giving something away people might want. So stop by and look for the QM van, take a peek at it. It's at the Shell station on the corner of 27th Ave and US 1 in Miami. Stop by and pick up a pair of passes to the auto show, which starts tomorrow in the Miami Beach Convention Center. And there might be a few people there even speaking English, but I doubt it. Okay, here's the deal. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Good job. Which of these is most accurate? Bush won the election because 165 votes. Fear and stupidity, 73. Born-again nut jobs, 39. Democrats are inept, 20. He was a better choice than Kerry, 17. That's about 10%. Karl Rove, 14. And of 9/11, 2. But, 9/11's only got a pair of votes, and I don't want to sway the way this thing goes, but let me ask you this question, okay?
No.
If 9/11 wouldn't have happened, is there any chance he would have gotten reelected? No. Assuming everything else would have been the same.
No.
Any chance? I mean, even like...
About 30, man.
No.
That's why they let it happen on purpose.
Or maybe they just arranged it.
Or...
In fact, somebody faxed the other day, I never got around to it. It was a picture of Bush sitting there in the classroom and Karl Rove whispering in his ear about we're under attack, and he looked at his watch and said, 9 o'clock, I thought it was supposed to be 10. Robert faxes and says, Will They Ever Trust Us Again by Michael Moore, book suggestion. As I'm reading this, even though I voted for Kerry, I think, at least I tried to, I feel like I let these soldiers down. On a lighter note, did you see the video of the man in Taiwan who was mauled by lions? Yeah, I did see that after he jumped in the cage. His reason for being in the cage, he was trying to convert the lions to Christianity. All right. There you go.
The power of Christ compelled him.
The power of Christ compelled him. He was trying to convert the lions. It reminds me of the movie The War of the Worlds. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah. And the priest comes out there, and the priest is, he's going to convert the monster from Mars, or wherever the hell he's from, the big one-eyed serpent, if we can still say that.
No.
And, zap, there you go, Pops. Won't see him no more. He even looked a little worse for wear than that priest on Passions, whatever the hell his name is, Father Blind Man, whatever his name is. 567, let's get this turkey unloaded, okay? Let's get it on the road. Oh, I got bad news for you. Got some bad news, eh?
More?
Yeah. All these people that keep planning on coming up here now, including my friend Ken Halpern there. Disgruntled Democrats seeking a safe Canadian haven after President Bush won the election Tuesday shouldn't pack their bags just yet, eh? Canadian officials made clear yesterday that any U.S. citizens so fed up with Bush that they want to make a fresh start up north would have to stand in line like any other would-be immigrants or wait to take up to a year. Let me tell you, if they're hard-working, honest people, there's a process, and let them apply. Immigration Minister Judy Sergro, or whatever her name is, told Reuters. There's a process, and you can be damn sure that's what she said. Asked whether American applicants would get special treatment, she said, no, they'll join the crowd like all the other people who want to come to Canada. Eh? There are anywhere from 600,000 to 1 million Americans living in Canada, which leans more to the left than the U.S., and has traditionally favored the Democrats over Republicans, thank God.
Oh, God.
But statistics show a gradual decline in U.S. citizens coming to Canada to work and live in Canada, which has an ailing health care system and relatively high levels of personal taxation. That last part is certainly right. They got the GST and the PST and the DDT. Government officials, real estate brokers, and Democrat activists said that while some Americans might talk about moving to Canada rather than living with the new Bush administration, they didn't expect a mass influx. Thank God. It's the last thing we need is a whole bunch of Americans here. It's one thing to say I'm leaving for Canada, and quite another to actually find a job there and wonder about whether you're going to live and where the children are going to go to school, said one official. Roger King of the Toronto-based Democrats Abroad group said he'd heard nothing about a possible exodus of party members. Maybe he ought to talk to Leon Uris. I imagine the most committed Democrats will want to stay in the U.S., continue being politically active there, he said. Americans seeking to immigrate can apply to become permanent citizens of Canada, a process that often takes a year. Becoming a full citizen takes a further 3 years. The other main way to move north on a long-term basis is find a job, which in all cases requires a work permit, which takes from 4 to 6 months to come through. Stood in the day after election meeting yesterday. Yeah. The Canadian Foreign Ministry said there's been no increase in its hits on the Washington Embassy's immigration website, while housing brokers doubted they see a surge in U.S. business. Canada's always been open and welcoming to Americans who want to relocate here, but we don't think it will be a trend or a movement, said Gino Romanese of Royal LePage Residential Real Estate Services. Gino Romanese. How do you like that? Probably likes that spaghetti bolognese. Gino Romanese, you think? 5670560. I'm just incoherent in case you haven't noticed. It's just, plus the fact that it's so damn depressing not even to have just 3 numbers, just one of them, just for the $5. Not that it's going to change my life, but, just to make you feel like, you got a little bit of a shot. We got a shot. That's what Jimmy says. And how come there still haven't been any firings in that organization, Josh?
They're going to let them finish out the season.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, but...
is that what you're assuming?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
Maybe they made a deal of work for half price or something. They're just going to let them hang on. Boy, that's bad. 1 in 7. Now, see, before things... And, of course, this is before Junior Seau got hurt. People thought, well, Arizona, there's a team that we could beat. You know what? What do you think now?
Nah.
What are the chances?
About 30, man.
And that's on a scale of 2 million. That's not 30%. That's 30 on a scale of 10 million. Let's see. Another choice for the poll today, says Carl in West Palm Beach. The Republicans stole it by hacking into the databases of the computer voting machines. Well, that's a little bit too cynical even for us, although you probably have a really good point. Let's see. Let's not put that on there, okay? That's, or if you want, I don't know.
Let's take their temperature.
You won the election because they stole it.
Right.
Just they stole it. You have to put all that other verbiage on there. They don't know what we're talking about. Palm Beach troublemaker fashion says Republicans now control Congress, the presidency, the media, the Supreme Court, and now they own the votes with these paperless voting machines and software owned and operated by Republicans. What fools we are, we're waiting in those lines. Since that makes being a Democrat meaningless, I will now switch my party loyalty from Democrat to Republican. Becoming part of them will split the Republicans into two camps, the warmongering neocon spend-it-all party versus the anti-nation building don't spend any of it party. Pitting them against each other is our only hope. We have to break up this one-party rule or we'll never have any checks and balances. What do you think? Well, listen. What do you think? What do you think?
I think he's got a good idea.
Whatever you want to do. Good luck to you. 27 past 11 at 560 WQAM. IRS tax problems have a way of biting you in the ass, baby. They ruin all the aspects of your life. They take a toll on you financially, physically, and emotionally. You can never really forget about those IRS problems. They come back each morning when you wake up in a cold sweat. CPA Jeannie Buchwald and the Buchwald Tax Firm will help end your IRS problems forever and give you back some peace of mind. That's why other top CPA and law firms refer their clients to the Buchwald Tax Firm when they've got IRS problems. So why not avoid potential criminal prosecution? Get all your unfiled tax returns prepared even if you lost all your records. Now, suppose you have an IRS lien, a wage levy, owe payroll taxes and penalties. Maybe you want to settle for thousands less than you owe or just need time to pay. Whatever your deal is, your predicament, the Buchwald Tax Firm can help you out. They offer free initial consultation, affordable guaranteed fees, and immediate relief from IRS harassment. And best of all, you never have to even meet with the IRS because the Buchwald Tax Firm handles all meetings and discussions. You don't even have to show up. Call them today. Whether you owe $10,000 or $1 million in IRS taxes, the Buchwald Tax Firm can solve it for you. Call 954-575-2800 today for your free consultation or visit them on the web at irsfreedom.com and stop worrying about the IRS knocking at your front door or knocking it down. 954-575-2800 for the Buchwald Tax Firm.
You're listening to Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
What was that?
Q?
I didn't hear no Q.
Want a lollipop, little boy?
What's going on with you? Q?
Hey,
I didn't marry my dad. I married a bit better. John is a much better person in certain ways. He's controlling. He's a perfectionist. He's the best at what he did in the same way that he was controlling and I obeyed. You know, yes, John, everything. And then was just like a doormat.
He can't see what it's about. Melody gravity sees. She took me to an orgy and gave him only one night. I'm really glad at my dad. She claims that John McEnroe, he used to like to do blow. Whoa, Johnny denies it, but that's no surprise. Make Kate and Pitt, she might flash you in. Whoa, her past is hazy, and some think she's crazy. I'm not crazy. Is she just plain insane? Has she lost half her brain? No. Whoa, say the more Neil is enough. If we don't show
27 noon. Now, I was watching a little bit of the presidential news briefing this morning, which you notice right after the election he's having a press conference.
Yeah.
And you won't have that happen again for about 3.5 years. Here's the good news, okay, which we had exclusively on this show, even though nobody was listening when we came on early at 10:11 this morning. Lobbyist believes absentee ballots pushed Lott's question into the win column.
All right.
Oh! Ron Book, A Miami lobbyist for a level playing field on Amendment 4 this morning said the pro-slots amendment side has picked up several thousand absentee votes in Palm Beach and Dade counties and now thinks the amendment will pass. If so, it would lead to slot machines at 7 South Florida racetracks and high life frontons. The problem is being blamed on a software glitch, and it may have affected not only the count of Amendment 4, but also Amendments 5 through 8 in Broward. Apparently, the software was programmed to limit the number of votes to 32,000 per precinct, but when the 673,000 plus absentees were counted, the software cut off the true count. The glitch may have affected 70 to 100,000 absentee ballots being counted in Broward County. The absentee count is expected to be certified to the state on Amendment 4 in Broward is 400. Wait till you hear these numbers. 454,276 votes for and 219,037 against. That's 225,000 cushions in favor of Amendment 4. How do you like that, huh?
All right.
Excellent.
It's a sin.
And, of course, since it passed overwhelmingly in Dade and Broward, when it goes to referendum, which probably will be in March, assuming this thing gets all the way the next couple of days, which I'm sure will ratified and certified and unified in March, then Dade and Broward can vote on it. It'll pass overwhelmingly, especially because between now and March, the people in Dade and Broward will discover, in fact, they'll probably discover it in the next day or two, that the people who put up most of the money to fight against this and to warn everybody about the sins of gambling and the evils of all this crap, come to find out that they're in the gambling business themselves. Most of them.
How can that be?
Yeah. Which is why they prefer to remain anonymous and behind the veil of some nebulous name of some organization. But come to find out that they're involved in that evil, sinful gambling operation themselves. And it was just selfishness. They're just trying to keep everybody else out. Keep the pari-mutuels under their thumb. Ain't going to work. Passed overwhelming. 225,000.
Oh!
Wow. Okay, so that's the good news. Amendment 4 is passed. It'll be official any day now. And life goes on. So at least if you're depressed about the presidential election and the Senate races and all the other stuff and Congress in general, you can go plunge your guts out at your nearby track in Dade and Broward pretty soon. Probably in about a year. Ain't that great?
Spectacular.
And since you're so sour on slot machines, by the way, a guy over the weekend, I forgot to mention it so far this week, guy over the weekend in Niagara Falls won $5.7 million on a dollar slot machine. I just mentioned that in passing, okay? I'm not trying to get you to go play slots. Okay. He won $5.7 million.
Was he gay?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. Line 9, WQAM.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Neil, hey, do you think Karl Rove gets a tax break for being the head household over there at the White House?
No question about it.
Yeah.
He wears the pants in that family, baby.
Hey, I love your show, and I just want to tell you I wouldn't be listening to you if it wasn't for Howard Stern, because I started listening to him, and then I discovered you, so...
Thank God for Howard, baby.
There you go.
Okay, thanks.
Enjoy it.
See, Howard Stern brought us some audience, and brought us a lot more audience, and in fact, maybe enough to, tip the election if we'd have just had some promotion about Howard Stern being on QAM. But, of course, Greg just goes ahead and puts it on and keeps changing the whole lineup. And did we do any real promotion on this?
No.
I guarantee you that probably a good percentage,
About 30, man.
30% of the Stern audience don't even know that he's on QAM. Wouldn't you think?
I don't think.
No, seriously, because most people under the age of 100, I hate to keep saying this, they don't listen to AM radio. AM radio is a dinosaur. It's an anachronism. It's something from the past. In fact, most of those people under the age of 100, they've grown up listening to FM radio. They didn't even know from AM. They thought AM was like shortwave. And quite frankly, it sounds a little bit like shortwave, Especially when you're driving there on 441 under the power lines, under the overpass and over the underpass. Man, it sounds like crap. So maybe a few billboards would have been nice, Howard Stern and Neil and Mad Dog and the Humper. Assuming, of course, that any of us are going to be around more than 5 minutes. You never know with this outfit, though. All depends on what that temperature is when they pull that thermometer out of somebody's rectum. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was just calling to let you know that President Dump Schmidt is on the radio now. And he's just
even more refreshing since we all got some sleep last night.
Yeah, he got some sleep last night. Yeah.
He's just bumbling all the answers and just making a jerk out of himself.
Okay, well, listen, at least he's consistent anyway, Pally. That's good.
Interviews and the whole process where you keep basically saying the same thing over and over again.
Like
Abu Gar.
Yeah, we keep saying the same dumb things over and over again. Well, like I said, at least he's consistent. He'll give us a few laughs, and hopefully won't kill too many people in the next 4 years and won't blow the world up yet. Don't forget it. We still got any of those passes for the auto show yet? Still?
As far as I know.
As far as we know. Look for that QAM van right now. It's at the Shell Station corner, 27th Avenue, US 1 in Miami. All you got to do is stop by there and reach right in. Just stick your hand in there and pick up a pair of passes to the auto show that starts at the Miami Beach Convention Center tomorrow. Give you something to do over the weekend. Keep you off the streets. Get you a nice new 2005 Corvette. WQAM, hello.
Ileana goes in again. More Jews will have to die to make more soap.
Oh, man. Oh, what'd you think about that? Let's see how that poll looks so far. Hey, listen, might as well laugh it up a little bit, okay? Let's lighten it up in the public. They're under a lot of stress and duress and wearing a funky dress. Maybe it's a blue dress. Look out for that stain on there, sweetheart. Let's see. Which of these is most accurate, you think? What do you think? Bush won the election because of fear and stupidity, 135. Those safety moms. Born-again nut jobs, 85. I think that should be number one. Although, there's a lot of crossover in these various categories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he was a better choice than Kerry, 37, 10.5%. Oh, my God. The Democrats are in at 35. That's a good choice. Karl Rove's got...
About 30, man.
They're all good choices. Because they stole it, 18. Because of 9/11, 9. And he had more money behind him, 1. Solamente uno. Now, Democrats didn't have any shortage of money. Now, in 2000, that was a problem at the end. The Gore people ran out of money. And that's why right at the ass end there, they just didn't quite come up to snuff, and they didn't win by enough to overcome the fix. They did win, but they didn't win by enough. Because from here on in, if the Democrats or any party is going to beat the Republicans, they have to win by about a whole bunch of points.
About 30, man.
Just to overcome the fix.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Bush.
Loved him on The Tonight Show, trying to make light of tragic situations.
So that's when Kobe Bryant said, hey, why not? The room's already paid for, huh?
Now, America's favorite monologue marathon man is trying your patience in a whole new way. Big Chin Records presents Jay Leno Does Hits of the 80s.
White House, Secret Service in the street. White House. Hey, do you hear about what the president did today? Do you hear about this? Read about this? Unbelievable.
Does hits of the 80s today.
Relax. Don't do it. I used to be funny, but I blew it. Isn't that right, Kevin?
To order Jay Leno Does Hits of the 80s, just call 1-800. Oh, who are we kidding? No one's going to buy this garbage.
Every time I hear that, I keep thinking about that line where he says, I used to be funny, and I'm thinking, I must have missed that part. Boy, he just gives me the willies. State of mind, Jay Leno. And he and Letterman hate each other like poison. Did you know that?
I did.
Huh?
Sure, of course.
I got an article here. In fact, I got a whole bunch of stuff that I never even got to. Yeah, Letterman-Leno battle escalates into war from the Inquirer, which we love the Inquirer on this show. And but I think I Schmidt canned it for. Oh, here it is. David Letterman has gone to war against former friend Jay Leno after the announcement that Conan O'Brien will take Leno's Tonight Show chair in 5 years. Letterman, who believes Leno stabbed him in the back when he maneuvered for the Tonight Show 12 years ago, took a pot shot at Jay on his late show a few days after the announcement. He said Conan O'Brien is the most powerful person on television because he pushed Leno out of the chair, and he's really calling the shots over there at NBC. And now that we have a friend on that Tonight Show, maybe I'll be invited on that as a guest on that show. And it goes on at length. Maybe I'll get to some of that stuff, now that we have this election stuff over with, but I doubt it. Here's a very strange story from Hollywood. 24 businesses in several square blocks in Hollywood were evacuated this morning after a possible explosive device was discovered under a car.
Oh, my God.
Around 9 o'clock this morning, Hollywood police received a call from Donald's Auto Repair at 5690 Johnson Street. I wonder if that's Donald. After an explosive device attached to the undercarriage of a car. Police Captain Tony Rode, or Rhodey, whatever his name is, said a customer had come into the shop for repair work early this morning. The car was placed... Now stop and think about the odds of this happening. The car was placed on a lift, and that's when the device was discovered.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? What are the odds of that? Several blocks surrounding the auto repair shop were evacuated. Several federal agencies are at the scene, and the bomb squad has been called to the site. Now, this is from the Herald. It said it happened around 9 this morning. I'm looking on their website for updates, but the Herald website is just an abortion. It's a piece of crap. And they also don't put a time on the stories, unlike the Sun Sentinel or any real newspaper. Well, the Sun Sentinel is almost for real, plus they advertise on the show. They put the time when they get an update, breaking story. But the Herald can't be bothered to do that. So they just have the date. So I don't know what the deal is now. Maybe our news department will figure it out. Here's the facts from somebody who says my response to what happened on Tuesday. One word, impeachment. If only the Congress had gone to the Democrats. Well, if only the Democrats had run some decent campaigns instead of falling out of bed and off their ass. And see, that's another thing. When all these right-wingers came out, these evangelical Christians, you notice that's why the Republicans picked up 4 seats in the Senate and increased their lead in the House, because all the right-wingers came out. So that's why you got that goofball in South Carolina and the one in Coburn in Oklahoma and Toon in South Dakota who says he promises they're going to be singing a different tune. That's right. Although Tom Daschle getting beat, that's fine with me because Tom Daschle was weak. Him and Dick Gebhardt, man, talk about a couple of weak sisters. Well, we don't think that we want to challenge the result. We want unity for the back in 2000. Weak sisters. We'll go watch Fahrenheit 9/11 again. Michael Moore, if you go to his website, Dave, you looked at it?
No.
If you go to michaelmoore.com, I just clicked it on again just to make sure it's still on there. There, it's still there. It's got a big picture. It's just black background, and it says nothing. Well, underneath it says, we're not going away. Join our mailing list. And it's got a place for you to sign on. Just got a big, it's a barbed wire. Are you looking at it? With Bush's head behind it. I think there's an implication there, if you catch my drift. You see it?
I do know.
Isn't that cute? Yeah, we're not going away. We're just getting more pissed off, and we're going to continue fighting a good fight. That's what Michael Moore says. Good for you, Mike. Have another cheeseburger. Attaboy. Maureen Dowd. Boy, do I love Maureen. She is the queen. She's the best. New York Times today, she writes, the red zone. And she's got her thumb on it. She says, with the Democratic Party splattered at his feet in little blue puddles, John Kerry told the crushed crowd at Faneuil Hall in Boston about his concession call to President Bush. We had a good conversation, the senator said, and we talked about the danger of division in our country and the desperate need for unity, for finding the common ground, coming together. Today I hope we can begin the healing. Democrat, heal thyself. W doesn't see division as a danger. He sees it as a wingman. The president got reelected by dividing the country along fault lines of fear, intolerance, ignorance, and religious rule. He doesn't want to heal rifts. He wants to bring any riffraff. He wants to bring any riffraff who disagree to heal. W ran a jihad in America so we can fight one in Iraq, drawing a devoted flock of evangelicals, or values voters as they call themselves, to the polls by opposing abortion, suffocating stem cell research, and supporting a constitutional amendment against gay marriage. Mr. Bush, whose administration drummed up fake evidence to trick us into war with Iraq, sticking our troops in an immoral position with no exit strategy, won on moral issues. The president says he's humbled and wants to reach out to the whole country. What humbug. The Bushes are always gracious until they don't get their way. If W didn't reach out after the last election, which he barely grabbed, why would he reach out now that he's got what Dick Cheney calls a broad nationwide victory? Raise Fallujah if he has to. He feels that the election results endorsed his version of the war, never mind that the more insurgents American troops kill, the more they create. Just listen to Dick O'Lordy as this cuckoo clock still Vice President Cheney introducing the man for his victory speech. This has been a consequential presidency which has revitalized our economy and reasserted a confident American role in the world. Well, it has revitalized the Halliburton segment of the economy anyhow, and confident is not the first word that comes to mind for the foreign policy of a country that's alienated everyone except Fiji. Vice continued, now we move forward to serve and guard the country we love. Only Dick Cheney can make serve and guard sound like rape and pillage. He's creating the sort of democracy he likes. One party controls all power in the country. One network serves as state TV. One nation dominates the world as hyperpower. One firm controls contracts in Iraq. Just as Zell Miller was so over the top at the GOP convention that he made Mr. Cheney seem reasonable, so several new members of Congress will make W seem moderate. Tom Coburn, the new senator from Oklahoma, has advocated the death penalty for doctors who perform abortions and warned that the gay agenda would undermine the country. He also characterized his race as a choice between good and evil and said he had heard there was rampant lesbianism in Oklahoma schools.
Really?
He also characterized his race as a choice between good and evil and said he'd heard there was rampant lesbianism in Oklahoma schools. Jim DeMint, the new senator from South Carolina, said during his campaign that he supported a state GOP platform plank banning gays from teaching in public schools. He explained, I would have given the same answer when asked if a single woman who was pregnant and living with her boyfriend should be hired to teach my third-grade children. John Toon, who toppled Tom Daschle, is an anti-abortion Christian conservative, or servant leader as he was hailed in a campaign ad, who supports constitutional amendments banning flag burning and gay marriage. Seeing the exit polls, the Democrats immediately started talking about values and religion. Their sudden passion for wooing southern white Christian soldiers may put a crimp in Hillary's 2008 campaign. Nothing but a wooden stake would stop it. Meanwhile, the blue puddle is comforting itself with the expectation that this loony bunch will fatally overreach, just as Newt Gingrich did in the 90s. But with this crowd, it's hard to imagine what would constitute overreaching. Invading France? That's what she says. Invading France. Yeah, we'll get them French and them freedom fries and freedom toast. We'll make them toast, baby. She's good. Here you go. Here's a little insight. Like I told you before, I threatened to read this. John Nichols, the online beat. These are on our website, by the way. It will be tomorrow. Today, tomorrow, whenever. Right, Josh? Whenever.
Right. Someday.
Right. Whenever we get around to it. John Nichols says Rove's race is what he calls it. He says George W. Bush may have secured the presidency this week, but the real winner was Karl Rove. The White House political czar has solidified his position as the nation's campaigner-in-chief. Republicans love him, Democrats fear him, and everyone now agrees that Rove is the political genius of the age. So let's listen to Rove. In the epilogue of Bob Woodward's book, Plan of Attack, the author writes about how Rove saw the presidential race in early February 2004. Noting that Rove believed that the war in Iraq was turning into a potential negative for the Bush-Cheney re-election campaign, Woodward wrote, previously, Rove had claimed he was salivating at the prospect that the Democrats would nominate former Vermont Governor Howard Dean in the 2004 presidential race. But Dean had imploded, and Senator John Kerry, the Massachusetts Democrat, had won 12 of the first 14 Democratic primaries and looked like he was headed for the nomination. What did Rove have to say about this development? The good news for us is that Dean is not the nominee, Rove now argued to an associate in the second-floor West Wing office. Dean's unconditional opposition to the Iraq War could have been potent in a face-off with Bush. One of Dean's strengths, though, was that he could say, I'm not part of the crowd down there, but Kerry was very much part of the Washington crowd, and he had voted in favor of the resolution for the war. Rove got out his 2-inch thick loose-leaf binder titled Bring It On. It consisted of research into Kerry's 19-year record in the Senate. Most relevant pages were 9 to 20 of the section on Iraq. Woodward explained that Rove believed that he had Kerry pretty cold on voting to give the president a green light for war and then backing up when he didn't like the aftermath or saw political opportunity. Whatever the case, Rove sounded as if he believed they could inoculate the president on Iraq's war in a campaign with Kerry. Rove, Woodward observed, was gleeful. 10 months later, as the returns rolled in Tuesday night, Rove's glee seemed well-placed. After every imaginable revelation about the missteps, misdeeds, and lies that the Bush administration used to steer the country into the Iraq misadventure, and after all the news about the quagmire it had become, America effectively said to George W. Bush, we trust you to manage the mess more than we trust John Kerry. This is the most painful reality of the fall campaign of 2004. For all the talk about Iraq, the debate about the U.S. occupation of that country never really took hold. Kerry tried to offer himself up as a clear alternative to Bush, and from a stylistic standpoint he succeeded, but when the debate got down to the practical question of when American troops would be out of harm's way and when the Iraqis will really be running things in their own country, about all Kerry had to offer was a vague, sooner than rather later promise that sounded a little bit too much like the secret plan to get U.S. troops out of Vietnam that Richard Nixon peddled in '68. It's a stretch to suggest that Howard Dean would necessarily have been a better foe for Bush than Kerry. Dean had enough baggage to fill several of those loose-leaf folders on Rove's desk, but at a fundamental level, Rove was right. A Democratic challenger who could have distanced himself or herself from the use of force resolution in Bush's plan of attack would have been, as Woodward suggests, potent in a face-off with Bush. To be sure, Bush lost the actual debates, but the results of the election I'd suggest he didn't lose the broader debate about the war. Hindsight is always 20/20, but it's worth noting that a lot of progressives rejected Kerry's candidacy during the primary season because they feared that, in light of his vote on the use of force resolution, he couldn't hold Bush fully accountable for the rush to war that's now cost so many American and Iraqi lives. They, like Karl Rove, were proven right on Tuesday. What have I been telling you, man? What was I saying the last 2 weeks of the campaign? Day after day after day after day. This isn't Monday morning quarterbacking, as the president would say to Tom Brokaw. What was I saying every single day? Mm-hmm. I was screaming it, man. Dean. That's what the Queen was saying. We need Dean.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560.
Hey, I'm Frau Ileana Ross-Lakeman, and I like scrubbing my smelly gorilla ass with soap made from Jews and listening to the Neil Roque Comunista Hour.
And now here's Timmy Dean, founder of Timmy Dean Pork Sausage, with a few words about new Timmy Dean bagel sandwiches.
Hello, I'm Timmy Dean. You know, if someone had told me 25 years ago that I'd be making bagels, I'd have said, huh? That's Jew food, isn't it? But times have changed, and I guess I've got to change with them. But I don't have to like it. You people want your bagels, I'll give you your bagels, with a big old greasy slab of Timmy Dean pork sausage on it. New Timmy Dean non-kosher bagel sandwiches. If you're Jewish, you can buy them. You just can't eat them.
New Timmy Dean bagel sandwiches.
Well,
what does that mean?
It means that there are conflicting reports. He's either dead or alive. Luxembourg's prime minister told reporters today that Yasser Arafat had died, but doctors treating Arafat near Paris said he was still alive. They said, we hit him with 5 bullets and he's still alive. That's bad news for you and bad news whatever. The conflicting statements came after Arafat's condition sharply worsened. Aide said he was in a coma. President Bush was informed of the apparent death of Arafat during a press conference this morning, and Bush replied, God bless his soul. Isn't that great? God bless his soul.
Yes.
Arafat was born August 4th, 1929 in Cairo. Well, we don't need to have his whole bio here. This is from Newsday, my God, just from the A&P. French President Jacques Chirac went to the hospital Thursday, saw Arafat and his wife, to whom he expressed his best wishes, and probably slipped him some poison cannoli. Chirac's office said the president also met members of, I forgot, the French never met a terrorist they didn't like. I forgot that. The president also met members of the Palestinian Authority and doctors who are doing everything possible. The visit lasted about 30 minutes.
About 30, man.
Chirac did not speak to reporters. French television station LCI quoted an anonymous French medical official as saying Arafat was in an irreversible coma and intubated, a process that usually involves threading a tube down the windpipe to the lungs. The tube is often connected to a life support machine to help the patient breathe. The tube, he's got that applicator tube, probably from Rush, who's a real pain in the ass also. Yeah, the great moralizers, baby. What was it again? What's the expression they used? Moral values.
Yeah.
Moral values, man, like Rush and them pills while he's pointing the finger at all the other drug addicts ought to be behind bars and fried in the electric chair. And in the meantime, him and Wilma, they were popping it up and unbelievable. And Bill O'Reilly with his phone sex. Oh, brother. Not to mention, of course, Jane and Paul Crotch, and Jim and Tammy Faye, and Jimmy, I've sinned, Swaggart.
I've sinned against you, oh Lord.
Oh, brother, give me a frickin' break, okay? The American public is so hornswoggled. What we need is a gigantic atheist revolt in this country. Let's dig up Madeleine O'Hare, what's left of her.
I'll do a voodoo.
Let's get a hold of the Freedom from Religion Foundation and Gaylord for president. That's what I say. I'm writing her in next time.
Damn straight.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think she's married.
And Gaylord. Let's get it. Oh, that proves it to me. Get her on there. Get her on the ballot. Forget about Ralph Nader and all these other old crows.
There's no D on the end of that, you know.
And Gaylord. Well, whatever. I don't know. Who the hell am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Gaylord Perry. I'm sure that Josh knows who Gaylord Perry is, the former fine pitcher for the Giants.
Yes.
From 100 years ago. See, there, there's a sports guy that Josh even knows about. He even knew Junior Seau. Well, that's going to be really ugly on Sunday, you know. Now, that's right, they're playing Arizona. Is that game there, or is it in Zona?
No, it's in Miami.
It's in the dead Zona, Miami. Well, and what time is that game? Oh, it's the Sunday 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, there'll be about 20,000 there.
Now, are you suggesting that game might get blacked out?
Oh.
Isn't it so loud?
I'd say it's highly likely.
That's going to be blacked out. Well, guess what? I'll be able to see it and laugh like crazy. I'll be up here going, because I got the package, baby. I got that big package. I see every game.
So do I.
Now, who the Patriots playing this week?
You tell me?
I haven't got any idea. I haven't got a freaking clue. Well, we'll get into that. Let's not start getting too sports intensive. Wait till the Mad Dog at 2. He'll be along. Then we got the Humper and the Thumper and the Bumper at 4. You got the Hurricane Hotline at 7. The Beast at 9 o'clock. How do you like that? The Beast, out of sight, out of mind. And Eddie K at 10, who I'm sure is mourning the grotesque result of Tuesday's election. Although I bet you Eddie K's pretty excited about the slots thing passing. Any kind of gambling, even on 2 leaves falling from a tree, which one will hit the ground first. Eddie is all for gambling, man. So I bet you he's really pleased as a punch, especially because it'll help his friends at Dania Highlight, right? Isn't that one of his fine sponsors?
I don't know.
And the dog tracks and that stuff. Not to mention, of course, all our friends at the horse tracks. Aren't you a dog lover? Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you're such a dog lover, go adopt a greyhound, okay, and quit and leave us alone.
The Chinese love dogs, too.
Okay. Yeah, and speaking of greyhound, I don't know what it is. I'll take some calls, I'll get to you, but I'm just rolling it and smoking it. You remember shortly after 9/11, I'm sure you do, and I brought this up before, but this is one of the great mysteries in recent history, right in front of our puss, okay, and nobody anywhere has even talked about it. Remember when there was an epidemic of Greyhound buses being hijacked?
Right.
And the drivers having their throats slit and going off the road and people dying? Well, whatever happened with that?
Shut up.
No, sir, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
We never heard another word about it. We never heard if those people were terrorists, if it was Al-Qaeda, if it was Hezbollah, if it was Yamama.
Just isolated incidences of crazy copycat crazy people.
Right.
That was the report.
Just remember, there are no coincidences, okay? Don't ever forget that. There ain't no such thing as a coincidence. Oh, let's see, here's...
And some might find a conflict in there, but this president says he has a very activist agenda, and he says, quote, I have the capital, meaning the political capital.
Oh, well, he's talking about that stupid press conference while they're flicking on the screen about Arafat is dead or he's not, which I already beat you to it. I had that on before they did, by the way. I got that on the Wicked Web. Boy, what the hell would we do without the Internet, you know what? What would I do?
Right.
Anyway, JW faxes says, I thought I'd let you know what the Mood Party is up to, the Moral Party, I'm sorry. It's slashing tires in Plantation. Anyone with Kerry stickers on their cars or in their yards is getting their tires slashed. Imagine if they would have lost. Oh, well, there's no blood on my hands. Sig Heil, says JW. P.S. I need more Scott Farrell. Whatever the hell that means. He needs more Scott Farrell.
I'm going to kick his ass, and then I'll steal his toupee. I'll take your children. I'll sell them to some Haitians.
There you go. No extra charge, JW. Okay. Now... I don't know if I want to do this right now. Yeah, it's short. It's short right to the point. No, it's not that short. Well, I better do it. Because I don't want to appeal to the conspiracy theorists, but I think that you people may be right, and I think I may be in your camp, but there's nothing we can do about it. Oh, we don't want to go to camp. Please. This was an article, August 28th, 2003, by the Cleveland Plain Dealer, which I read on the air last year. I remember very vividly, like it was only moments ago, by Julie Carr Smith. And the headline of the article was... Voting machine controversy. Keep in mind, in the Cleveland Plain Dealer in Ohio, okay, the head of a company vying to sell voting machines in Ohio told Republicans in a recent fundraising letter that he's committed to helping Ohio deliver its electoral votes to the president next year. The August 14 letter from Walden Odell, chief executive of Diebold, Inc., who has become active in the reelection effort of President Bush, prompted Democrats this week to question the propriety of allowing Odell's company to calculate votes in the 2004 presidential election. Odell attended a strategy powwow with wealthy Bush benefactors known as Rangers and Pioneers at the president's Crawford, Texas ranch earlier this month. The next week, he penned invitations to a $1,000 a plate fundraiser to benefit the Ohio Republican Party's federal campaign fund, partially benefiting Bush, at his mansion in the Columbus suburb of Upper Arlington. The letter went out the day before Ohio Secretary of State Ken Blackwell, also a Republican, was set to qualify Diebold as one of 3 firms eligible to sell upgraded electronic voting machines to Ohio counties in time for the 2004 election. Blackwell's announcement is still in limbo because of a court challenge over the fairness of the selection process by a disqualified bidder, Sequoia Voting Systems, and of course we know that Diebold got the bid. In his invitation letter, Odell asked guests to consider donating or raising up to $10,000 each for the federal account that the state GOP will use to help Bush and other federal candidates, money that legislative Democratic leaders charged could come back to benefit Blackwell. They urged Blackwell to remove Diebold from the field of voting machine companies eligible to sell to Ohio counties. This is the second such request in as many months. State Senator Jeff Jacobson, a Dayton area Republican, asked Blackwell in July to disqualify Diebold after security concerns arose over its equipment. Ordinary Ohioans may infer that Blackwell's office is looking past Diebold's security issues because his CEO is seeking $10,000 donations for Blackwell's party, donations that could be made with statewide elected officials right there in the same room, said Democratic State Leader Greg DiDonato. Diebold spokeswoman Michelle Griggy said Odell, who was unavailable to comment personally, has held fundraisers in his home for many causes, including the Columbus Zoo, Op-Era Columbus, Catholic Social Services, and Ohio State University. Isn't that kind of cute? Opera, Columbus, 2 words. Yeah. Ohio GOP spokesman Jason Mauck said the party approached Odell about hosting the event at his home, the historic Cotswold Manor, and not the other way around. Mauck said that under federal campaign finance rules, the party cannot use money from its... I wonder if Mauck's related to old Eddie Hauck. Griggy said in an email statement that Diebold couldn't comment on the political contributions of individual company employees. Blackwell said Diebold is not the only company with political connections, noting that lobbyists for voting machine makers read like a who's who of Columbus's powerful and politically connected. Let me put it to you this way. If there was one person uniquely involved in the political process, that might be troubling, he said, but there's no one that hasn't used every legitimate avenue and bit of leverage they could legally to get their product looked at. Believe me, if there's a political lever to be pulled, all of them have pulled it. Blackwell said he stands by the process used for selecting voting machine vendors as fair, thorough, and impartial. He heard closing arguments Judge Fred Shoemaker did yesterday over whether Sequoia was unfairly eliminated by Blackwell midway through the final phase of negotiations. Shoemaker expanded a temporary restraining order in the case for 14 days, but said he hoped to issue his opinion sooner than that. That was August 28th of 2003, and of course we do know that Diebold got to stick in their machines, and they stuck it right up your in Ohio. How do you like that? So those people that are voting on our poll today that the fix was in, or however we worded it, how did we word it?
They stole it?
They stole it.
Yeah, they stole it.
They may have their thumb on it, okay? They may have their thumb on the correct lever this time. But we're not crying sour grapes because they stole it fair and square, even a little more, even better than they did last time. At least we didn't have to go through all of that crap.
Smoother.
And I will say this in John Kerry's behalf, because his attorneys were saying, well, we ought to file a suit in federal court. There's paperless electronic machines with there's no way to tell. And I'll say it again, I had a friend down there in Broward County who went to the polls Tuesday morning and punched Kerry on there and nothing happened. He punched it again, nothing happened. He punched it a third time, it came up Bush. Until he finally had to have one of those old cockers come over and erase the thing and start all over again. On the fourth try, voila, Kerry. Of course, maybe the first three counted for Bush, 3-1. 12:13 at 560 WQAM. It's that time of the year again. It's the wrong spot. Well, it is that time of the year again, though, isn't it? For people to go buy a house?
Yeah, it's always a good time.
Let me tell you about our friends at Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach. With over 275 different mortgage programs available to them, they will find a mortgage for you no matter what your situation is. Recently, these folks helped out a listener of ours who never dreamed he'd be able to qualify to buy his own home. Not only were they able to qualify him, but they were also able to present him 3 options as to the type of mortgages he could get. And they worked closely with him to determine which was best, and then, voila, they made it happen. That's Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach. You can call them right now, toll-free, and they'll help you out. Call 1-800-734-6616, whether you're looking for an interest-only loan, a 30-year fixed rate, or one of the many low-rate adjustable mortgages. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach has exactly what you need. They offer payments as low as $332 for every $100,000 you borrow, and Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers will not only get you that mortgage you're looking for, but they'll also send you on a cruise. That is correct. After closing your loan with these folks, Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, you'll be able to choose one of 6 different 7-night cruises. What's not to like? Compliments of Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers. So whether you're looking to buy a new home, an investment property, or just to refinance your current mortgage, make that call right now, toll-free, 1-800-734-6616 for Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, where you'll be treated like family. You can get more information about them on the web at guaranteedmortgagebankers.com, or make that easy call right now. There's no obligation. Call 1-800-734-6616.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 WQAM.
Neil,
Nick and Jessica with us.
Yeah.
What's the trick to achieving longevity? I mean, that's something I think about often.
Completely, madly abuse drugs. And
party. Let's take some calls. Johnson City, Tennessee is on with us. You've got Nick and Jessica. Go ahead.
Hi, Ryan. This is Andrea.
Oh, hi, Andrea.
Jessica, is it true you don't drink milk because you can't fit your head in the carton?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll admit it.
Well, is it also true that you hired a private detective to find out if you were related to Homer and Bart Simpson?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm going to do with her. She's out of control.
Columbus, Ohio, you're on.
Yeah, I keep seeing advertisements on the internet about a Nick and Jessica sex tape. Is that really you guys?
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, we have a clip. Take a look at Nick and Jessica.
Naked.
Yeah.
Wow, where can I get a copy of that?
In stores. You get it now?
Yeah.
Okay. And no regrets in deciding to do this.
Oh, no, we're so happy we did it. We are so happy. We get off on stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very gratifying for us, so. Yeah.
Well said.
It's 12:19. They're old news, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Kevin and Boca is much more perspicacious than we are. Did you notice it when you looked at that Michael Moore website?
After you mentioned it, then there was, but then I forgot about it.
Oh. It says the picture of George W. Bush on Michael Moore's website doesn't appear to me to be of barbed wire. Well, it's supposed to look like barbed wire, but if you look, it looks to me like it's hundreds of faces, most likely of the brave men and women of the military who died fighting for the liberation of Iraq, says Kevin and Boca, and you are...
Absolutely correct, sir.
As I just looked at it again. So it's another piece of brilliance for Michael Moore, and he's taken those little tiny pictures, the faces of those brave men and women who died in Iraq, the nameless people, because, of course, we don't want to talk about them too much, except once in a while Dan Rather, who's 73 years old and doddering. But, and that's what it is. And when you look at it from a distance, it looks like Bush is behind barbed wire. It should be a good place for him. But nevertheless, there are the pictures. Blood on his hands, and, of course, lots of blood on the hands of 59 million Americans who decided to support and endorse this butcher. How are those passes at the convention center coming, the auto show?
Yeah, they're gone.
They are gone.
Yeah.
I just asked because I don't want to promote and have people get all pissed off, drive over there and say, "Where's the van? Where's the van?" You said. I said they're gone. Well, like to keep abreast of what's going on, you know what I'm saying?
I like to keep
abreast, Jessica. Carmen Electra's on our website today, behind a beaded curtain for those horny people out there who want to take a look. It's okay. It's a pretty decent picture, considering. Okay, let's take a few calls. Let's see, what have I got here? I got the morality. I just want to make sure. No, I don't have a whole... Yeah, I do, actually. I actually do. Federal judge orders Broward and Dade don't destroy the absentee ballots. I already talked about that. I talked about Amendment 4 is going to pass handily, because they had a glitch, and it was a bitch, and then the absentee vote... See, the absentee votes came in, and that put it over the top. Then they found that voting glitch, which was preventing enormous numbers of votes from being counted on Amendments 4 through 8. And once they straightened that thing out, then they found out, this ain't even close. Which it didn't figure to be close, you know? I mean, I understand that we had this huge born-again, fanatical, evangelical, Christian, holier-than-thou Bible thumper crowd turn out to vote, but just stop and think there had to be some people in the rest of the state who thought, well, it ain't going to affect our lives any. Even in Tampa, where they got a racetrack and a dog track, even they can't have the slots over there. See, here in Ontario, every racetrack, every one of them has got slots. And at Woodbine, which I go frequently, it's a beautiful casino, man, with slot machines and with a restaurant. It's just a clean, beautiful, wonderful place. A lot of people having a great time, winning some money, losing their ass, or whatever as the case may be. But yeah, right.
Going to hail.
And as a result, the purses for the horse racing are phenomenal. There's an enormous amount of money that comes into the province, and it's going to be the same in Florida. All we're talking about is the people of Dade and Broward being allowed to control their own destiny. Thank God, for the first time ever. For the first time, the people of Dade and Broward can finally control their own destiny, say whether we want it or not, as opposed to the rest of the yahoos saying, you can't have that.
They're gambling with
your
soul.
In a way that they benefit with a lot of the money for their education, for their schools, such as I'm sure they are. You can imagine those schools in Tampa, for example. WQAM, hello. Not there. That line 1, boy, it sure cuts off quick. WQAM, hello. And so does line 4 now. QAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Love you, man. Listen, I just want to say thank you, 560 QAM, yourself, George, everybody out there for, keep spreading the message and fighting the power, and thanks for the tickets, too. And,
mostly thanks for the tickets, right?
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah. And as a veteran myself, I feel very, betrayed by my American people, for, not listening to the troops and everything like that. But, life goes on.
Yeah,
tomorrow, my friends and family, we're just gonna go ahead and get black pants, black shirts, white sneakers, and get the purple Kool-Aid ready. Thank you.
All right. Okay, say hi to Jimmy Jones. Yeah, that's right. It's a cult, baby. It's a cult. America's become this big, gigantic cult, and all these people are goose-stepping along. Oh, the Lord, hallelujah, we're on the road to Armageddon. I sure hope that a lot of you Jews that voted all 10 of you for Bush are real happy, okay? And don't confuse them with the facts, because that's the plan of the born-agains for the Jews. Go to hell. They're going to either convert you over there in the Holy Land, and then if you don't accept the offer they make you that you're not supposed to refuse, if you do refuse, you're going to burn in hell. And then Jesus will come back and take everybody to heaven, and we're going to all go bowling and just have a hell of a good time. We can all wear white socks like they do in Buffalo. Ooh. Eat some Polish kielbasa. What's not to like? Y'all can have a red face like Tim Russert.
I think I might still have some of my Christian T-shirts.
There you go. Man, oh man. I got news for you, baby. Those of you who are even minor students of history, Islam is their little league. They're not even in the same league with Christianity when it comes to killing people. They're not even in the same ballpark. Right. They aren't close.
They've been on the defensive mostly.
Mostly they've been kept under the thumb of the Goyim and the Jews. But now, but throughout history, man, the millions of people who were made an offer they couldn't refuse. And of course, if they did, bada bing, man, that was the end of them. So that's always a compelling argument to convert, you know? Either convert or, we'll show the love of the Lord. WQAM, hello.
Yes, the Neil Rogers Show?
Speaking.
Hi. A couple of things that I wanted to bring up. I just heard that Arafat died,
Yes.
You heard anything about that?
The hospital, the French hospital, is they're denying that he's dead, but there was a newspaper report that said he is dead.
Yeah, I thought so. Also, one of the other things that Neil should be discussing is the reason that Bush got elected, in my opinion, is he managed to get people out against gay marriage, and that brought out much more right-wing politics people.
Well, born-again nut jobs, I think, covers that.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, thanks, Pally. I'll tell Neil. 26 past noon. Oh, there's no question. They did a masterful job again. They got it on a ballot in 11 states, including Ohio. And I'll tell you, even with Diebold and all the other fixes in, I still believe it. If they wouldn't have been on a ballot there, Kerry probably could have pulled it out, and the state too. But didn't happen. You know, you kept listening to all these projections about, well, you know, when the votes come in from Cuyahoga County, more of the Cleveland votes are counted, and they kept showing on the map. And there was Bill Hummer, who's a real self-hating, you know what. And you kept waiting for that number to reduce from 120 to about 80,000 down, you know, a few thousand, and then when it got within a couple of thousand, then we could have had like some drama, you know, and there might have been a chance to pull it out. But instead, every time they showed the vote total, the lead kept going up. There must be a lever that that Odell guy has, you know. I wonder if he's kin to Ed Odell or Digger Odell. I'll guarantee Ed Odell didn't vote for Bush. I'll guarantee you that. I want to speak for Ed, but I'll guarantee it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You know who Ed Odell is?
No.
26 past noon. He's on channel or something down there. What are you talking about? You don't know Ed Odell. Been on there for 100 years, sure. Man. He ain't no Isabel de Casada, but he's the best we can do. Hey, if you have guests coming for the holidays, maybe you're wondering what to do with that dirty old carpeting in your home. Well, now is the time to get rid of that carpet and replace it with laminate or hardwood flooring from Laminate Designs. Visit Laminate Design Showroom. They're at 8280 State Road 84 in Davie. And choose from over 300 samples on display. Laminate Designs can have your beautiful new floor professionally installed in just about a week. Call 1-877-8-LAMINATE to set up a free, no-obligation in-home estimate. Laminate Designs carry all the well-known lines, including Wilson Art, Quickstep, and Pergo. If you call today and set up an appointment for your free estimate, tell them you want the QAM discount for an additional 10% off their already low installation price. Laminate Designs is located in Davie, just off I-595, between Pine Island Road and University Drive. And the showroom is open daily, Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. till 4:30 in the p.m., and even on Sunday from 10 to 2. Call 1-877-8-LAMINATE. That's 1-877-8-LAMINATE, L-A-M-I-N-A-T-E, for Laminate Designs, the flooring company where service comes first.
You're listening to Neil Rogers, exclusively on 560 QAM. Stop us at Max!
We're about 10 years too late. Yeah, back when things were great. Clinton was president. O.J. was innocent. But we could still see friends and be the 10 butthead. Barely had an internet. And there was no spam yet. Never heard about Bin Laden. Wall Street was always in the black. We still care about Madonna. And none of us speak attacks. And all that great music. Yeah, you could take your pick. Like it was sent from God. No cell phones, no ringtones, no iPods, played Oasis or Hootie. That Brandy was a cutie. There was Alanis Morissette and Julius Quinn from Lila. Then the Pumpkins were smashing. The Beatles tried to catch him, but nothing quite feels right since 1995. 1995. You know Mariah and Whitney, they beat the pants off Britney.
No.
We still had some geezers, but also there was Weezer, and we had Sophie B. Hawkins. Yeah, she was good for talking. I wonder if she survived that. 1995.
It's 12:32 at 560 WQAM, the Mad Doggy at 2. I'm trying desperately. There it is. Got another story that I want to pass along. You're not going to be reading more of those stories now the election is over. Let's get back to fun and games and fart sound. Well, we can't play any fart sound. 5 die in Fallujah airstrikes. You see, the bloodbath is about to begin again for real now that the election's over and they're back in. They didn't want to do this. They didn't want to go in there before the election because it would mean too many more dead Americans. But now they're willing to make more human sacrifice. U.S. warplanes bombarded the Iraqi city of Fallujah overnight, killing 5 people, it was reported today. Probably some pain in the ass innocent bystanders. The southern city was targeted by 2 air raids on northeastern and southern areas where the U.S. military said there were fighting barricades. Reuters said the strikes on Fallujah were the heaviest for several weeks, increasing speculation that the long-anticipated attack on the city by U.S. Marines was growing nearer. Meanwhile, British Black Watch troops were today preparing to begin active patrols close to the city, which is around 30 miles
About 30, man.
west of Baghdad, blocking off exit routes and helping to free up U.S. forces for an attack. So get ready, strap yourself in. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, this is a good article. This is the one I just printed out from the old smirking chimp. Don't forget to look at michaelmoore.com and take a look at that picture. In fact, maybe we want to put that picture on our website.
Okay.
Can we arrange to do that?
Right now.
Let's get with it. Richard Holhut writes, who's a journalist in New England for more than 20 years. He writes, it's now official we are no longer a reality-based country. A majority of American voters apparently want decades of perpetual global war. They want to see their sons and daughters sacrificed on the altar of the neoconservative dream of an American empire in the Middle East. They want more giveaways to corporations and tax cuts for the rich. They want to see Social Security privatized and see their retirement funds gambled away in the stock market. They want our air and water polluted and our natural resources plundered. They want to see more Supreme Court justices like Antonin Scalia and Clarence Thomas and a federal judiciary that will likely turn the legal clock back to the Gilded Age. In short, a majority of American voters must really want their nation to be a corrupt one-party theocracy run by a president who thinks he's on a mission from God, has total disdain for democracy, the rule of law, and truth itself. I found it hard to believe this could really happen again, but it did. A majority of Americans voted to affirm a policy of lies and deception. Truth and logic don't matter. Common sense didn't matter. A majority of Americans wanted to believe that George W. Bush will keep us safe and prosperous despite abundant evidence to the contrary. So now what? Finger-pointing and blame aren't effective strategies, although it does feel good to engage in it for a little while. It's easy to say the majority of Americans are clueless morons and voted to have someone like them to be their president. It's equally easy to say the Democratic Party needs to pull its head out of its collective butt and get rid of the blockheads who've run the party into the ground. However, the primal screaming has to stop sometime, and the hard work of building an effective opposition must begin to stop the worst planks of the Republican Party platform from becoming reality. It's telling that the real energy in the Democratic Party didn't come from the party, but from groups like Move On and the rest of the independent left-of-center organizations that popped up in the last couple of years. They raised the money and mobilized support in the vacuum left by a party that's become as beholden to big money as the GOP. I still believe the biggest mistake the Democrats made was not having the courage to launch an anti-war campaign. Howard Dean energized liberals by having the guts to take on Bush and his illegal, immoral war in Iraq when everyone else was cowering. His organization provided a new model for the Democrats to follow, but the party leadership decided they could do better with John Kerry, someone who voted for the war and never gave fully convincing reasons to liberals as to why we should vote for him other than that he wasn't Bush. They can't blame Ralph Nader this time. In the end, the Democrats paid dearly for destroying Dean and ignoring his supporters. I've written this many times over the past few years, but it needs to be said over and over again. The Democrats need to offer a clear and principled alternative to conservatism. They need to shift the political discussion away from God, gays, and guns toward health care, education, the environment, and an economy that benefits all people and not just the rich. I still believe in the old-time Democratic religion as articulated by Franklin D. Roosevelt, that the Democrats must be a party of liberal thought, of planned action, of enlightened international outlook, and of the greatest good to the greatest number of our citizens. But once again, the chickens voted for Colonel Sanders. At the end of last year, in the midst of the most polarized political climate since Civil War, I wrote that in a time when it seems as if all the worst instincts of humanity are triumphant, hope is a radical ideal. We have to believe that our nation and the world can become a better place. We have no choice but to embrace the hope that tomorrow will be better than today. I may be in despair right now, and I want to hop in my car and drive to Montreal, but I know that really isn't going to be an option. We knew that when November 3rd came around, hard work was waiting for us. Now the job is going to be even harder. The prospect of 4 more years of Bush is horrifying, but we can't give in now. I'm ready to fight to take back my country. Are you? Richard T. Hola. Pretty good. It says it got his thumb right on it right there. Yep. And when you notice every one of these articles, and even the article about Karl Rove we're finding out right now, they got exactly what they were looking for. That's who they didn't want. And you can bet your life on it that they and their good buddies in the media, their willing co-conspirators in the media, with that Dean tape, with that scream on there, which we then find out, it was a directional mic, and actually there was all this crowd noise that he was trying to drown out, which was forcing him to scream because the crowd was so enthusiastic and screaming like crazy. And just like I'm sitting here right now talking into a directional mic, if there was all kinds of chaos going on, you wouldn't hear it. You wouldn't hear it. And so then ABC, like about 10 days after all the others showed it 80 billion times, ABC finally shows the tape where you hear the real sound of what was going on, and you realize he was trying to outscream over this hysterical, enthusiastic crowd. That's all. That's all he was doing. But of course, they make him seem like a madman. like that. See, he's irrational, he's hysterical, he's a crazy person. Just listen.
We're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Yeah. But they didn't want Howard Dean because he wasn't a Washington insider. He was an outsider who was the first one to mobilize the Internet. Him and Joe Trippi doing a phenomenal job. And they got those zillions of young people out. See, it wasn't John Kerry that mobilized these young people that wound up coming out and voting.
Right.
That was Howard Dean, who had a great start on it. And I guarantee you, if he would have gotten the nomination, won all those primaries, by the time we got to the election on Tuesday, he'd have had 80 zillion times the number of young people mobilized and motivated. But instead, they chose an old party hack, and that's what we got.
Hacked?
You know, nice shot, nice try. See, coming close only counts in quoits and horseshoes. It doesn't count in elections. So you got a long list. George McGovern, who I love dearly, but nevertheless, George McGovern, Walter Mondale, Michael Dukakis.
Paul Song.
Well, Paul Song has never made it. I'm talking about people that actually ran, that got the nomination. And John Kerry. And it's sad, but Democrats are going to continue doing that. They're going to continue losing, and you're going to continue losing your country to a bunch of flat earth lunatics, crazy people. Gay marriage. I mean, the idea that that was an issue. See, now you understand why they brought it up in the first place. And you also should understand that this wasn't the time to be doing it. That whole thing is a red herring, man. It's who the hell gives a flying crap about gay marriage? Why couldn't they wait another year, okay, on that? Another year or two. Who cares, okay? Just keep living together in sin and having a good time and screwing your brains out and leave everybody alone for a while, and then we can work on that when we get somebody to the left of Attila Hun in there. But no! And isn't it ironic that the whole thing started big time in Massachusetts? See, it's kind of a monkey-see, monkey-do thing, you know? Just because we here in Canada are a lot more enlightened than the United States, and the gay marriage thing not just got started here, but went wild. Well, we can do it here, too. Well, guess what? You can't. Just like Clinton started with that thing about gays in the military. Remember, that was good. He made the promise, and he wanted to keep his promise, but that blew up in his face big time. Yeah. And then, of course, 2 years later, what happened when he lost the damn Congress? But nevertheless. How's that poll coming? See, I'm getting all whipped up now. I'm not taking anywhere near enough calls. I'm having a good time.
monkey-do.
Monkey-do. That's what I just got to say. Monkey-see, monkey-do. In fact, speaking of monkey-do... Oh, they just had him on there. Oh, there's more monkey dudes.
Yes, Melinda Hennenberger.
Yeah, Hermann Goering Jr., Wolf Blitzkrieg. You're a jackass, Wolf. You're an idiot. You're not fooling us with that beard. I'm telling you, now that Bush got in again, he's dyeing that thing dark black.
I'm dying over here.
Over there at CNN. He's certainly not News Nazi Network. Fox Light. Which of these is most accurate? Bush won the election because... How many votes we got? 731. Of fear and stupidity, 248. Of bored-again nut jobs, 187. Because he was a better choice than Kerry, 76. 10.3% of you really believe that. Oh, heaven help us. They stole it, 72. The Democrats are inept, 69. Because of Karl Rove, 53. Because of 9/11, 22. And because he had more money behind him, only 4.
Listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Neil, God.
12:49. It's 11 till 1 at 560 WQAM. I'll tell you one thing. This almost a 4-hour show today is like a workout. In case you tuned in late, which I would anticipate most of you did, Howard bailed out at about 11 past 10 today. Inexplicably. I think the stress of the election got to him and Robin and everybody. And even to Ozzy. Now, here's the deal. I want to read this again because there are people who weren't listening before, and this is at least something to salivate over. This is the Herald take on it. This is their spin. Thousands of new votes on some constitutional amendment questions were discovered early today, potentially forcing a recount on the question of a South Florida vote on slot machines. An absentee ballot counting wound down after midnight in Broward's electronics warehouse. Attorneys scrutinizing the closed vote on Amendment 4 noticed that vote totals changed in an unexpected way after 13,000 final ballots were counted. Election officials quickly determined the problem was caused by the Unity software that pulls together votes from 5 machines tabulating absentee ballots. Because no precinct has more than 32,000 voters, the software caps the total votes at that number. From there, it begins to count backward. Really? Can I read that again? Because no precinct has more than 32,000 voters, the software caps the total votes at that number. From there, it begins to count backward. Attorney Ron Book, who represents the pro-slots group Floridians for a Level Playing Field, said he believed the new Broward votes, along with about 21,000 just counted absentees from Palm Beach County. We'll give amendment for a yes margin of about 86,000 votes. Final date numbers not yet available. It's going to go way over the top. The error only affects the count of absentee votes on countywide questions. In this election, it only affected one page of the ballot, including amendment questions 4 through 8. I'm sure it was just a coincidence, just an accident, right? Can you imagine the suitcases and bags full of money that must have been floating around on that deal? By the, oh no, it's evil and it's gambling crowd? Most of whom are in the gambling business themselves, by the way. It says the glitch was discovered 2 years ago and should have been corrected by software manufacturer ES&S of Omaha, Nebraska, according to Broward County Mayor Eileen Lieberman, who said, "Oi!" She said, "I was so angry last night." She spoke to representatives from ES&S early this morning and later was having a spirited telephone conversation with Secretary of State Glenda in the Hood. A spirited conversation. Keeping in mind, of course, that your fat-ass Governor Jeb Bush was against Amendment 4 very strongly. Because it's immoral. Yeah. It's a sin. Of course, smuggling stuff into the country like his wife ain't a sin, and having a coke-addicted daughter in rehab all the time isn't a sin. ES&S, and fixing the election 4 years ago in Florida wasn't a sin. ES&S said it's been trying to fix the software problem since it first came to their attention in Broward in 2002, but isn't able to get certification for the change from the state. An attorney for the Secretary of State's office disputed that today, saying that fixing this problem is not something that needs certification by the state. Okay? So there you go. That's the good news. Amendment 4 is going to pass pretty handily, comfortably, and then you'll have a referendum in Dayton and Broward in March, and it'll pass overwhelmingly there. And then life will go on. We'll have a lot of more money for education all over the state, and people can go have a good time, and the prices at the tracks will go way up, and Eddie K will have lots to talk about, and that's it. And Hank and Tom Jick can go out to the track again, right?
We'll all be happy.
And we'll all be happy. And I can go back to Pompano Park and plunge on the slots while Dave Ingraham is looking for the finish line with a compass and a road map. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
WQAM?
This is us.
I'm sorry?
I said that's us.
Okay, can I talk to Neil?
Speaking.
I'm sorry?
Speaking. You got him. We're doing screenless, man. I picked up cold.
Great.
Go ahead. Speak to me.
Well, I want to talk to him about the election.
You're talking to him. This is Neil. Neil. Kneel. This is me.
Oh, all right. Well, let's talk about start with the morality issue and how the election was won by morals. I don't understand if an evangelical Christian or any Catholic or anybody that believes in the right to life is going to say that our lives are more important than somebody else's, or that abortion is bad, but yet in vitro fertilization is okay, or that.
How about all the dead American soldiers and all the dead Iraqis? Is that moral?
Exactly. You're exactly right. What about all the dead Iraqis, and what about all the dead people around the world that's caused by this administration? If you're going to say that you're anti-abortion and you're pro-life, then how can you possibly a person who's willing to go to war?
Well, you see, at least they're consistent, because the fetus huggers have consistently had one position, and that is that once you're out of the womb, they don't give a crap about you, okay? It's only the unborn fetus, the nebulous life that they're so obsessed with. That's what they care about. Once you're out of the womb, you're on your own.
Well, that's true. And, and it's a sad thing. It's a sad thought that people here really think that we're better than everyone else in the rest of the world. Every life is precious. Every life has the right to live. And here we are backing another president that has no sense of that at all. So,
well, you see, the problem with a lot of America is that these people have never been anywhere. Only 10% of American people have passports, so they've never been out of the country. They have no concept of what the rest of the world is like. And keep in mind, when Bush made that State of the Union speech back in 2002, that business about, you're either with us or against us. He pitted us against the whole world. Either you're going to join in with our barbaric assaults on whoever we choose, or you're against us. So everybody else is an enemy now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And the only way that this is, the fact that there might be another stolen election and all that other nonsense, yeah, it's probably true that there's been a lot of discounted votes. But, you got to remember that there's still 59 million people or thereabouts that voted for Bush.
That is scary. That's right.
61% of people that believe in God and believe in Jesus and what he says is still willing to vote for a clown who's willing to go to war. And my only other comment is go, Leafs, go.
All right. Well, we haven't lost the game yet.
Is there any hockey coming on or what?
No chance, man. You're probably not hearing much down there, but the articles here are just ripping Bettman and good now. There's no chance.
Yeah, what are you
perfect season, baby. No losses.
Right.
Good luck to us. Matt Sundin is God. Although I prefer Alexander McGilling myself. He's the best.
And
who else was on that show? There were four of you, right?
Paul Beeston and Pat Marsden.
Right.
And Jack Donahue was on as well.
There's a Leafs TV for you, a few seconds, okay? Just for you people really hungry for hockey. In fact, there's the race from Woodbine. First race going off right now. You ready for that from Woodbine? Where they have those slot machines, those evil one-armed bandits? Yeah, let's start putting some really odd stuff on once in a while, just to keep these people on their toes. I don't hear any audio, do you?
No.
Oh, that's because the horses are still... See, that's one of the things with thoroughbred racing that I don't have the patience for that. Wouldn't you? I mean, I know horses are extremely stupid, but wouldn't you think that after they've run a whole bunch of races, that when they get to the start...
They're out the post.
There's Dan Loisel. They're off. They're off. Come on, Dan. They're off. Open it.
They're off.
He may not be good, but he's really consistent. Boy, he's bad. Anyway, 12:57 at QAM.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
There's this guy Burrell. And when I'm up in Boca Chica slapping old women with painted lips around the pool, I listen to the Neil Rogers 1 to 2 hour. I listen to the Neil Rogers Fair and Balanced 1 to 2 hour.
Oh, baby, are you ready to do it?
I'm sorry, honey. I can't.
Oh, what's the matter?
I just can't vote.
Sound familiar? If you suffer from erectile dysfunction, it's time to try Levotra so you can experience longer, more intense elections.
Sometimes I need a long, hard look at the issues.
And I used to have trouble getting up to vote.
But with Levotra, he's able to maintain his election as long as he wants.
With Levotra, you can cast your ballot all night long.
Frankly, we've never experienced an election as hard as this one. Isn't that right, honey?
Talk about voter satisfaction.
If you feel you can't even trust your own poll, ask your doctor about Levotra. Elections lasting longer than the one in 2000 are dangerous and should be reported immediately to the U.S. Supreme Court.
So what more can happen today? John Edwards' wife has got breast cancer.
Bummer.
Oh, my God.
A gravely ill Yasser Arafat is in a coma. Doctors at the hospital treating him denied reports he had died. Luxembourg's prime minister told reporters at a summit in Brussels that Arafat had died, but later retracted this, saying through spokesman Lucien Michel that it was a misunderstanding. An official at the hospital where Arafat was rushed Friday said he was still alive. He said, "We hit him with 5 shots, and he's still alive." That's a great scene. Well, they're all great scenes in The Godfather. That's Saluzzo. He was great, you know. I mean, he was no Mo Green, but he was pretty damn good.
Do you know who I am?
No.
I'm Mo Green.
Oh.
I made my bones when you were going out with cheerleaders.
Nice glasses, Mo. You know what I mean? 102. Oh, in fact, where the hell did I see a restaurant called Moe's? At the airport somewhere. Is it in Montreal? There's a restaurant called Moe's? I do believe so. Let me say it again. If you're looking for a place to go to, Montreal ain't bad except for all the frogs and the French. Oh, there's Arafat.
And CNN's Fadula Sweeney is watching all of the comings and goings.
Well, we can't say either one of those things, okay? We can't talk about comings or goings no more. Joyce gets really upset. 567. Let's take a few calls this hour, okay? I've been rambling on, but I think we've had a good balance today, although Bill Balance is still dead. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. WQAM, hello.
Jay Fiedler.
Mo, get back to your hairpiece, okay? Go back and pet your muskrat. Get out of here. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
Okay.
Listen, I just got back in town. I'm sure you've been talking about the last couple of weeks the story with Bill.
The Bong Show. What is it?
The story about Bill Kamal. I'm sure you've been talking about it.
Yeah, that's old news now.
Yeah, I know. You know, my question is, and really it's honestly a serious question if you think about it, with the people they've had go through WSVN with the Sally Fitz and Cinnamon Stouffer and Rick Sanchez and now Bill Kamal with his problem. I'm just wondering if the general manager of the Dolphins is the same as the one at WSVN scouting the talent. So,
It might be.
have a good one.
Okay. They might be comparing notes. I like the sound on that. It sounded like I said, like the Bong Show. And what about that little twerp, man?
Could you be more specific?
No, the little twerp from the Bong Show.
Chuck Barris?
Chuck and Barris.
The secret agent man?
I saw that again. Well, most people think he made that story up about being a CIA agent and killing all those people, but it just, that's kind of a good deal, a good scam. Just make up some story that nobody could possibly trace. Although I think Bob Novak is going to out him on Crossfire today. Crossfire! If there's anybody I'd like to break their legs, man, it's Bob Novak. Wouldn't you like to hit him in the head with a baseball bat just a few times? Oh, let's see. I would love for you to be my guest in the dining room after... Wow. And now he's even giving me tips, my friend Ian, at Woodbine. This is what I need, because I didn't win the 649 lotto, Ian. So I need some tips, okay? Look at that.
Steak tips.
Oh, that sounds really good. Huh?
Steak tips.
Oh, I don't want no dinners, man. I got to lose some weight.
Porking up again, are you?
Got a little bit, a little porky there. Well, of course, all the stress of this election and everything, and just missing winning that lotto, how much was it? 15 million last week by one digit. That's cruel. That's really cruel. So I ballooned up to 196, I think.
There was a story on NPR.
Back to 192 right now, though. I'm working on it. What?
A story on NPR about how stress causes you to gain weight. They had a scientific lady on there explaining.
Well, that's a good excuse. It couldn't have been all that ice cream I was eating then. I'm sure
stimulates your flight or fight response when you're.
Is that what it is?
And and so your body.
You know when I started really getting stressed, and it just drove me right to the verge of insanity. Was that morning? You were a witness. You were an eyewitness to it. When I came back after that week vacation, I was in a great mood. I just won a few bucks at Woodbine, whatever. I had a great time, and I come in at 8:20 on a Monday morning. I come into this room anyway, sit my fat ass down in this chair, and no sooner had my left cheek finally settled on the chair than there's your buddy, the Muffmeister, the purveyor of gloom and doom. Oh, well, Greg this and Greg that, and did Norm know about this, and did Greg... another one of these nervous breakdowns. And that was it. That was the end. And you know something? Since that day, although I did go through tremendous trauma from that experience, I'm so glad that happened because for a multitude of reasons. The main reason being that I'm not participating, I'm not communicating, I'm not getting involved anymore in this neurotic, nervous breakdown, emotional cripple syndrome that exists there at QAM with Greg and Duff and Clarence. And let them all go out there in the hallway and have a nervous breakdown and collapse. Whatever they want to do, fine. And now George is the interlocutor. He's the pimp, the intermediary, and that's it. You can pass the messages along, or if it's something even more serious than that, let them talk to Norma Kent. Okay, that'll keep them at a distance. And I don't want to be involved with those people because they're just grave robbers. No matter what you do for them, you show up every day, you do the best you can. Generally, you get pretty good numbers, except when they start messing with your show. But, you bring in tons of money, and they still treat you like crap. Just like Tom Jicka said in his column Saturday. Always liked that little Tom Jicka, that bald, stupid Tom Jicka. Always liked him a lot. Man. So, for that day, really that just set me off. That was just... How stupid have you got to be? And, of course, his excuse is, Greg wanted me to even call you on Friday about this, but you were on vacation. I said, no way. But the idea that I just come in here first thing in the morning, and he hits me with something that I didn't know about, that had nothing to do with me, that was much ado about nothing as usual, and blah, 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 and if you're an emotional cripple, Miss Muppet, then that's your problem, okay? God, get a life, will you please?
I have no life.
Yeah, we know that. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I'm going to speak to Mike in Italian.
I don't mind.
Chipicchia. Menage la miseria. Yeah, that was good. I want to speak to Mike in Italian. The veal is the best in the city. Well, it was kind of raw, though, and it was dripping in blood. It's kind of unusual to have bloody veal. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wire. I love, can you remember, I'm sure you can, the look on McCluskey's face when he gets the bullet in the head, and he's grabbing the napkin at his neck, grabbing at his neck. That look is just so beautiful. That was, what was his name? Oh, the great actor is dead. Sterling Hayden.
There you go.
Man, am I good or what? Sterling Hayden. Well, I couldn't remember Chuck Embarrass, but, when you get to be old and feeble like I will be tomorrow. Do you realize that tomorrow I enter my golden years? Because there are certain things that when you're 62, then you're a senior citizen.
Oh!
Yeah. Like discounts, things like that. In fact, I had gone into I think at Rexall here, there's they have a deal where if you're 62 or over, you get a discount.
Really?
Yeah. And in the beginning, I was offended by that. Do I look 62? Shame on you, which I don't look 62. I look maybe about 61 and a half. But so now I'm going to say, you bet. I'll show you my ID, my shoe size, whatever you want to see. Because why the hell not, right?
Why not?
Especially with this damn expensive Canadian dollar now up to 82 cents, thanks to the Bushmeister. The American dollar's in the crapper. And especially with all this GST and PST and EDT and DDT, I can't handle it. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Great.
Listen, I was listening to what you said earlier, and you hit the nail on the head. The only reason why I actually got excited about voting was because of this guy. What's this guy's name? Dean Howard.
Dean Howard.
Yeah. Where was
That's right.
Howard Dean. There you go.
Whatever his name was.
Whatever his name was. You know what? Bottom line is, he actually got me excited about politics. I thought he was, a little bit off, but you know what? That's fine.
Right. He wasn't one of those old hack insiders who just sucked along. He had the balls to tell it like it was. He came on TV the day Tom Ridge made that phony baloney terror announcement, and he exposed it for what it was. It was strictly politics. And then, of course, they had to put on Joe Lieberman on there. Oh, well, I know Tom Ridge well. He wouldn't do that. All these other namby-pamby wusses that roll over and play dead in the Democratic Party. And Dean was the one guy that had the big pair. Him and, of course, little Dennis Kucinich, who was too short to be taken seriously.
Exactly. I mean, if you look down off to State and Broward County, everyone voted for the Democrats. If you look at, think about it. North of Florida, all of Central Florida, you have all the old farts, all the people who are 70, 80 years old.
No, not just old farts. No, it's rednecks, man. Rednecks, Bible thumpers.
Yeah, but this is my angle on it. Let's make it where people past the age of 70 can't vote. Because most of them are dead by 4 terms over anyhow, so we're stuck, reaping the benefits.
Especially the old Cubans, baby. We'll let the old Jews vote because they usually vote right, but the old Cubans, no mas. What do you say? What do you think?
Incredible.
No more old Cubans voting, okay? In fact, I heard Castro fell down again is what I'm hearing. Yeah, break a leg, Fidel. 5670560 pound 5. In fact, I just decided something here during this last outpouring when that commentary about that morning.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep working until I croak.
Okay.
See, that whole business about retire.
Like the Pope.
I'm going to, like the Pope, I'm going to keep working until I croak. Although hopefully in better shape than he's at. Because why the hell not, I like having that money coming in. And it actually does show up once in a while, although the grief that you have to... See, with this company, it's not worth planning on too much longer, because the way that they make you go through such grief to get paid, that's not worth it. It should come in like on a regular basis. Shouldn't have to worry about things like that. There's enough legitimate things in life to have to worry about, as opposed to like whether they're going to pay you or not, And did this one do this? They want everybody to think that this company is like a real serious broadcasting company. They're on the stock exchange. It's strictly like a mom-and-a-pop grocery store, like a convenience store. You know that.
A convenience store?
An inconvenience store. It's a mom-and-pop operation with a bunch of nose pickers. 12 minutes after 1 at 560 WQAM. We got the Mad Dog at 2. Who's going to get you all pumped up for a big... Are you serious, Josh, that game might be blacked out on Sunday?
I would think so, yeah.
It would make sense because nobody... Arizona is like a little girls' team, and the Dolphins are like a blind little girls' team, With all due apologies to blind little girls, but that's embarrassing. And without Junior Seau, there were 3 guys playing good on the Dolphin team, and that was like Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, and Junior Seau. Now Junior's out for the rest of the season with a torn whatever the hell it was, a torn thing. Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, the season's over anyway. Okay.
What? You can't be saying that to be working on this station. Hey, Junior.
Get the honey, Junior.
Right. So it could be Arizona was one of those teams that they had earmarked. Just like during the election, they pick certain counties and locales where they got a chance to win. Arizona was one of those that they marked off in pencil, very light, that here's a chance we got to win this game. But right now, I wouldn't count it, especially after that game Monday night. Boy, that was just... There are no words to describe it. 12 minutes after 1. I think I just said it a minute ago, and it's still only 12 after 1. God, this thing slows down. But it's that time of the year again. The snowbirds and relatives come down from the north for the winter, and this winter, why not give them something special for a great night's sleep on a new mattress from Dial Mattress? They carry the complete line of bedding from Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Coil, Tempur-Pedic, and Stearns, and Bananas Foster. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and save you up to an additional 20% off their already super low factory direct prices on select models. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and choose the day and time for your delivery within any 2-hour window that you pick, 7 days a week from 8 in the a.m. till 10 in the p.m. In other words, they show up when it's convenient for you, and they really do show up. All the smart folks that I know, including yours truly, we count on Dial Mattress every time the old bedding is worn out, and believe you me, so many reasons to do it. Low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal. It is unbeatable, so it's easy to see why Dial Mattress is ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. Dial Mattress even received the prestigious Better Business Bureau's Choice of Excellence Award. Give them a call, toll-free. 1-800-MATTRESS, or check them out online at mattress.com. For the great night's sleep that you're looking for tonight and years to come, just make that one simple call, 1-800-MATT.
Finally got a call here. The #1 rated Mohammed David in his home. At least according to my aspirations. Stay away from me. I don't even know how you have children. Miramar, hello.
Yes, I want to take on Jay Fiedler.
Oh, well, Jay Fiedler is a great quarterback and a good Jew.
I like Jay Fiedler.
Well, not to mention he's got extraordinarily smooth buttocks.
Oh, yeah!
You gotta be careful what you say here.
Okay, Thank you, Mo.
No, wait a minute. Don't go.
But I have nothing else to say.
How about this? How's the weather down there in the Miramar?
I'm right down the street from you.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go.
Oh, wait, by the way, something.
No, I have to go.
Look, I tell you what. I'll hold you over the break. How's that, huh? I'll give you one of my old tank T-shirts. How's that?
Bye.
No, wait! That was the only caller we had.
The veins on your nose is glowing again. Wow! You got big, joyful veins on your nose and on your face, and around those oozing pimples you call eye. If you go look in the mirror, you'll see a roadmap of insolence. You got your hairpiece on, way too tight.
My nose glows when something stings. Almost every day I think. And my veins, they start to tickle. My adenoid, yeah, I look like I'm falling apart. That's because I'm a crazy old fire. With a nose that's filled with purple veins. Nothing like that you want to see. And science channel just never read. I know how to bleeding purple veins. Try to upset me.
119 at 560 WQAM. Morality became a player in the campaign. I love this. From your least favorite website, Capitol Hill Blue. The audience likes it, and I like it a lot. President Bush. Now, thanks for the happy birthday wishes, Eric. You put that with the balloons on my website again. I don't think he put the number on there. That's good. President Bush built his election win on a coalition of older white churchgoers in a race where voters were more likely to cite morality as their top concern rather than the war on terror analyzation of the vote showed yesterday. Morality. Just like that caller said a few minutes ago, killing innocent people, sending our American troops off to be slaughtered without the equipment they need to protect them, having no plan to win the war, again putting them in harm's way. Not putting enough troops over there like he was told by his generals in the first place, so that, again, putting them even more in harm's way, plus killing all those innocent men, women, and little children who are pain-in-the-ass bystanders. That's morality. Of course, it's typical throughout history. The more religious they are, the more they believe in killing your enemy. Of course, most of these people supposedly weren't the enemy, but don't confuse them. They're just pain-in-the-ass collateral damage.
They shouldn't have attacked us.
Pollsters had focused on terrorism, Iraq, and the economy as key issues in the run-up to Tuesday's election, and those were, of course, big factors in Bush's 3 million vote margin. In other words, the pollsters didn't realize we had so many Farbissina Goyim in the country. But that's what it says here. But moral values was the single top issue cited by voters, and social and religious issues such as gay marriage, gun ownership, and abortion loomed large, according to exit polls by TV networks posted on websites Wednesday. Bush voters said they valued his clarity, leadership, and religious faith, while Kerry scored much higher with those who placed a premium on intelligence, compassion, and being an agent of change. Oh, my God. Listen to that. Mm-hmm. Please read that paragraph again.
Yeah, would you?
Bush voters said they valued his clarity, leadership, and religious faith, while Kerry scored much higher with those who placed a premium on intelligence, compassion, and being an agent of change. In other words, so the dumb 59 million, they voted for Bush, and the people with an IQ larger than their thumbnail, they voted for Kerry, the 54 million, whatever it was. Bush's analyzation of the exit data showed that, or CNN's analyzation showed that morality was cited as the number one concern by 22% of voters, 4/5 of who voted for Bush, 80%. The second top issue was the economy and jobs, and Kerry captured 80% of those. Terrorism was the third top issue at 19%, Iraq was fourth at 15%, and 73% of those voters went for Kerry. So in other words, on the issues that made a difference, Kerry won. On Bubba Mices and fairy tales and the God Squad and who's my religion is better than your religion, 80% of those went to Bush, and he got all of those Bible thumpers out. He got the God Squad out there marching and goose-stepping, baby, lined up in the rain for miles. Other domestic issues, health care, taxes, education were all under 10%, with Democrats caring more about health and schools than Republicans about taxes. Other networks had very similar analyzation of the exit poll on their websites on Wednesday. Despite, wait till you hear this quote and wait till you hear who it's from, man. You're going to barf. Did you eat lunch yet?
Yeah. Early.
Get the bag out.
All right.
Despite the conventional political wisdom that moral concerns are a drag on a political ticket, it was values that energized voters. James Kennedy, president of the Barbizon, Florida-based Coral Ridge Ministry, said in a statement, Kennedy said Christian conservatives had voted in unexpectedly large numbers and delivered a moral mandate. How do you like that? Dr. James Kennedy, that virulent anti-Semite. Of the 11 states with anti-gay marriage initiatives on the ballot, Bush carried 9. 3 of those states had either open or very competitive Senate races, and Republicans captured all 3. Georgia, Oklahoma, and Kentucky. They don't like them faggots there. Voters who opposed gay marriage overwhelmingly backed Bush, while the minority of Americans who backed full marriage rights for gay couples backed Kerry. For the growing slice of voters, 35% who voiced support for civil unions for gay couples. It was a narrower 52 to 47% for Bush. Predictably, people who oppose abortion rights tended to vote for Bush, as did those with guns in their homes. The NRA had campaigned hard for pro-gun candidates. As expected, people who live in big cities went for Kerry, and those in smaller communities and rural areas for Bush. Farmers, yokels, rednecks. Married people with children went for Bush, but working moms liked Kerry. Union members were Democratic. Veterans supported Bush despite the question about they supported AWOL Bush. Despite the questions about Bush's National Guard duty and the still bitter debate over Kerry's service in Vietnam, people who thought the economy was basically in good shape voted for Bush, as did affluent voters who loved those tax cuts for the rich. People who thought Iraq was a mess went for Kerry. First-time voters and those 18 to 29 backed Kerry, as did those who made up their minds in the last few days, in keeping with conventional wisdom that undecideds usually break for the challengers. Voters over 60 tended to go for Bush, although he may not have gotten as much mileage out of Medicare reform as he had hoped. Here comes the meat, okay? You want to get to the meat?
All right.
Religion was a bellwether.
Oh, God!
Weekly churchgoers voted for Bush by close to 2-to-1 margin, and Protestants, Goyim, who attend church regular, voted for Bush by a 70 to 29 margin. MSNBC found that 78% of white evangelical born-again Christians voted for Bush, and those that described themselves as white religious conservatives gave him, oh my God, 96% of their votes.
Oh my God.
MSNBC found that 78% of white evangelical born-again Christians voted for Bush, and those who described themselves as white religious conservatives gave him 96% of the votes. Jesus effing Christ. Only 14, that's the one. Only 14% of the population, according to CNN, described themselves as never going to church, and they voted overwhelmingly for Kerry. Thank God for them. Occasional churchgoers, 40% of the voters, gave Kerry a 6-point lead. Jews stayed in the Democratic column, but early signs were that Bush did pick up a few points from that traditionally more liberal constituency. 3 to 4% of voters identify themselves as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. About 3/4 of them voted for Kerry, the poll showed. In other words, 25% of faggots voted for Bush.
Right.
Then log cabin, self-hating, Mary Cheney, phony baloney, Coors beer drinking. Oh, God.
1/3 of the union people voted for Bush.
God, and I thought there was only one Miss Drudge.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560.
1 moment, please.
I'm waiting. What's going on there?
Nothing.
You haven't...
Were you drudge packing? Are you ready for some football? Then tune in to ESPN Gay.
And he hits the hole right after Jesse opens it up.
Oh, yeah. ESPN Gay.
Like to pack that guy around third.
Cowboys, Bears, Vikings, Packers. You'll get them all on ESPN Gay.
He's going to fire into his guy right here.
Feel the sweat.
You push, you push, you push.
Smell the passion.
You just rode him backwards. You put him right on his back.
This ain't some makeover show on Bravo. It's the NFL on ESPN Gay.
And then everyone's kind of slopping around down there and grunting and groaning, and you get mud and stuff flying and gang tackles and drums and quagmires.
ESPN Gay, where there's never a
wardrobe malfunction.
I don't know where that one came from.
Sundays will never be the same.
That looked like it was the last shot out of the Roman candle.
Call your cable operator now and demand ESPN Game.
Look at that big old lot. Whoa, what a meal those guys are having.
Look good. ESPN Game. Now that's a mouthful.
Now, wasn't that Spanky in our gang? Sundays will never be the same?
Yeah, you know, you're right.
928 votes on the poll. Which of these is most accurate? Bush won the election because fear and stupidity, 311. Born-again nutjobs, 225. The Democrats are inept, 97. He was a better choice than Kerry, 97, 10.4%. You should live so long. They stole it, 96. Because of Karl Rove, 71. Because of 9/11, 26. And because he had more money behind him, only 5. Which, of course, would not have been the case because thanks to MoveOn.org and lots of other organizations and George Soros and Soros, they had plenty of money. And they ran a lot of good ads, too. In fact, the 527s ran some great ads about Bush and the Saudis. But, of course, most of those ads appeal to people that had an IQ larger than their thumbnail. That was the problem. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I talk to Neil?
Speaking.
Oh, Neil. I want to tell you, I went from complete ecstasy over my Red Sox to utter depression. I think all these redneck, as you guys, and I agree with redneck Graham, I tell you, I think the North and parts of the West, we should secede or start another civil war. I mean, I'm joking, but it's really a disgrace.
You're right. We have two countries now. We have the countries of the educated, the people with IQ larger, like I said in their thumbnail, and we have the God squatters, the mystic lunatics who are waiting for Armageddon for the world to blow up. And quite frankly, the rest of us don't want to go along with their game plan.
No, I am telling you, what does South Florida have in common with Central Florida? What does New York City have in common with Buffalo? I mean, it's absurd.
That's right. That's right.
It's absolutely absurd. The only good thing that Central Florida can get, a dentist should go up there because these redneck Goyim don't have any teeth. I mean, it's really a disgrace. It's really a disgrace. It really is.
I'll see you at the Peace Bridge, baby.
Take care, Neil.
All right. Yeah, the Peace Bridge. At least you'll be over where you'll be safe. You know, and you can come over and get a flu shot. We got plenty here in Canada. No shortage at all. Cost you $40 though, U.S. Huh? Do you realize how many people have poured across the border to get their flu shots here? And let me make one other prediction, okay? I'm not in the business of making predictions. That lie that Bush told during one of the debates about, I think it was the second debate, maybe in December they'll revisit this thing about drugs from Canada, importing them drugs. And, of course, you know there is not a Chinaman's chance in hell that that's going to happen. Well, we re-examined it, and we don't want those dangerous drugs from Canada, Canada, that 10th world country. That's right. Oh, Canada. Boy, you just wait and see, man. It's not going to happen. In fact, the stocks that went up the most yesterday after the election was finally stolen, pharmaceuticals and defense contractors, they went zooming up there, zooming by.
I made a little money.
As John Botha used to say at the Meadowlands, and I have no idea why, because he couldn't announce his way out of a paper sack. Zooming by. He was terrible. Look at that, and the market is zooming up again today because they're ecstatic now. They know that they've got a license to steal now. Just put your hands in the American taxpayers' pockets and just rip them, rape them. Dow's up 132, Nasdaq's up 13.5, over 2,000. Crude oil is down to 49.62.
Won't last.
No, wait another week. You'll see that price of oil start skyrocketing again. I wouldn't be surprised now that to celebrate Bushmeister's re-election now, that Bandar Bush and a whole bunch of Farbissina Arabs come. You'll see them on the White House. They'll be smoking in big, fat, fine cigars and drinking that fine, expensive French wine. You'll see. They got their plans, baby. They got their plans. In fact, we have a really good article about the Carlyle Group on our website today. If you want to read again how about the public's getting raped and ripped off. Talk about crooks. That's morality, baby. Halliburton. Crooked deals. That's morality. Crooked energy deals with Kenny Lay and all these other crooks behind closed doors. That's morality. See, the problem with you God Squad jackasses out there, you don't understand what morality really means. To them, morality is only about sex. And, of course, most of them are screwing everything that moves, But that's all they think about. But honesty and integrity and decency and valuing human life that's out of the womb, they have no interest in any of these things. All they know about is guns and gays and crap. That's it. Things. Right. Speaking of that, I like the headline in this article, Capitol Hill Blue, your favorite website. Mm-hmm. Bloggers screwed the pooch on exit polls. Isn't that a cute headline? They screwed the pooch. News organizations promised yesterday to look into why the Election Day exit poll showed an initial surge for John Kerry. That really pissed me off, because you know me. I'm on that website, Election Afternoon, and I'm looking on there, and I'm getting all excited, and this shows Florida carries ahead, and Ohio carries ahead. It says they blamed bloggers for spreading news that gave a misleading view of the presidential race. The exit poll data was delivered at several points Tuesday at ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox Nazi News, and the AP by the National Election Pool, a company formed in the wake of the network's blown calls on Election Night 2000. This was supposed to improve things. Didn't. The first wave of exit polls showed Kerry would lead at 3 points in Florida, 4 points in Ohio. Only, let's see, it says once one part of it is in question and it's wrong, kind of puts the whole thing in question, said Marty Ryan, Fox Nazi News Channel's executive producer for political coverage. It was disappointing. During the primary season, it worked very well for us. We were happy with it, but it wasn't that good Tuesday night. Other network representatives said their confidence in NEP remained unshaken, which shows how stupid they are. The Florida and Ohio exit poll results, along with those in other states where Kerry was strong, was quickly disseminated on websites such as Slate, The Fudge Report, Wonkhead.com, APSblogspot.com, and the Command Post. Some of these sites cautioned readers not to make too much of the information. The Command Post delivered the news under the headline, Grain of Salt. Miss Fudge removed the numbers almost as quickly as they were posted, and he had those flashing lights on there, I'm sure. And Slate warned these early exit poll numbers did not divine the name of the winner. I didn't have any real compunction about putting it up there, said Alan Nelson, co-manager of the Command Post. I didn't struggle with the decision because I knew it was going to become global news item within about 30 seconds.
About 30, man.
Our approach is we posted, you decide, Nelson said. But the people who read these numbers, among them thousands of ordinary Americans with an intense interest in the election, put too much faith in them and leapt to conclusions, said Bill Schneider, CNN's polling maven. I think people believe them, and it's especially the case with Internet bloggers, said Kathy Frankovic, CBS News polling director. That's unfortunate because it sets up expectations that may or may not be met. I think it's a good exercise because it reminds people that early exit polls can be unreliable. She said they are unreliable. So there you go. And it goes on about they did this, and none of it was used to wrongly call a state. It was very depressing. And you notice the Bush people were down in the dumps early in the evening before 8 o'clock, and the Kerry people were getting ready to crack out the champagne. Because of those exit polls that sucked, and of course, the exit polls can never factor in to fix the votes either, see? See what I'm saying?
I do.
So in other words, if they took the exit poll in Ohio and Kerry was 4 points ahead, but the machines from Diebold were like cranking it up in the other direction. In other words, one vote for Kerry equals 2 votes for Bush. As a result of that, then it kind of like throws it off a little bit. Not that we're suggesting that there was any twist or anything like that.
Shenanigans.
Right. There are no shenanigans because that's only on St. Patty's Day. It's an Irish thing. How's she doing, by the way? How's that bitch doing with her waxy build-up, huh? Well, talk about a silly-ass person, man, that babbling Brooks. Let's get her on there. Let's get her on as a guest.
Of who?
Not on this show. Maybe she can sit in for Catherine Laffer for a few days. Huh?
Hi.
Yeah, Catherine Laffer. Oh, God. 22 till 2. Praise the Lord, baby. Praise Jesus.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
It's day in Miami town at 560 WQAM.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story. He was just too damn handsome to stay famous for too long. He was Chris Isaac.
There was just something about Chris Isaac. Sorry, I slid off my seat there.
Dr. Linda Niedzeboek is a research fellow at the Institute for Attractiveness Studies. How do people get these jobs?
See, with a Brad Pitt or another sexy movie star, a woman can even sit and watch the DVD with her husband or boyfriend. The man knows she finds the celebrity attractive, but it's only a movie. Now, a singer like Chris Isaac, who is not only incredibly gorgeous, hair and those pouty lips. Whoa! Whoops! Sorry. Look, there's no point in my getting back on the chair. It's just going to happen again. The point is, with Chris, you can just pop in that CD and hear that voice and you freaking melt.
Make me dream of you.
According to Dr. Niedzeboek, men became so threatened by their women's enjoyment of Chris Isaak that they sent out subtle brainwave messages saying Chris Isaak was no longer welcome in the home.
To save their relationships, the women stopped buying Chris's records. Sorry, Chris. Please forgive us. Oh, God. Oh, yes!
Chris Isaak, a voice that can bring a woman to her knees. I know how he feels. Get it, ladies? It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business tonight on Inside the Behind.
So where's the pictures already? I don't even know what Chris Isaak looks like.
You don't?
No, I have no idea what he looks like.
Oh, whatever.
Does he look like a guy?
Yeah.
Well, that's a start. Well, I'm looking on the web here. I'll look for it later, okay?
He's
going
not
to
for
pique
you.
my interest. I beg your pardon?
I don't think you'd like it.
Okay, good. That's good.
Too old for you.
And I'm sure he wouldn't like me anyway. 144 at 560 WQAM. You see, we're trying to, our whole deal is, because some of you out here sounding very depressed, you're down in the dumps. That was yesterday. You just can't continue doing that. Because you can't let the goyim get you down. You know, my late dear friend Alan Finkelson from Pompano Park used to say that all the time. The one problem with the world, there's too many goyim. And he's absolutely right.
Amen.
And, like I said, believe whatever you want, but leave everybody else alone. But, and wait till you hear this. I'm going to read this one, even though it's got a lot of the same statistics I just read. When you find out who voted for the first time because of gay marriage, you are going to just pee your pants.
A plot?
The Amish.
The Amish aren't supposed to be voting.
Well, guess what?
They're verboten.
Guess what?
Maybe they weren't Amish.
Ari Berman in The Nation writes in his daily outrage, a vote for fear. He says the biggest outrage imaginable occurred Tuesday despite a lagging economy, an unpopular war in Iraq, and unprecedented energy on the other side. Republicans actually increased their majorities in Congress and held the presidency. How did this happen? A look at Tuesday night's exit polls revealed that Republicans effectively manipulated voters' anxieties about the threat from terrorism abroad and gay marriage at home to solidify their mandate. Voters approved every one of the 11 initiatives banning gay marriage on state ballots. In Ohio, the strictest anti-gay marriage amendment ever proposed, banning even civil unions and possibly domestic partnership for straight couples, passed with 62% of the vote. That's in Ohio, by the way, which was the pivotal state. 23% of voters named moral values as the most important issue according to exit polls, well ahead of Iraq, only 13%, and healthcare 5%, and second only to jobs economy by a point in a state decimated by outsourcing and losing manufacturing jobs. Of the moral values voters, 85% preferred President Bush. The church is going to show up today, Phil Buress, chairman of the Ohio Campaign to Protect Marriage, told the New York Times yesterday. Buress said that social issues like the ban on gay marriage prompted groups like the Amish to vote for the first time. Solidifying Bush's support, the 17% of voters who ranked terrorism as the most important issue picked the president in Ohio by a stunning margin of 90-10 over Kerry. These trends carried over into other crucial battleground states like Florida, where voters ranked moral values as second with 20%, behind only terrorism at 24%. 80% supported Bush on moral values and an even higher 87% on terrorism. These statistics show how the president won the Sunshine State. In teetering swing states like Arkansas, 33% of voters identified moral values as the crucial issue, while Democrats and independents joined in approving a ban on gay marriage by 75%. Across the red states, moral values and terrorism often trumped the economy in Iraq, far surpassed healthcare and education as the most important issue for voters. Moral values and terrorism. Republicans drove up turnout by hammering John Kerry as a gay-loving, terror-capitulating Massachusetts liberal who had imposed the social values of Boston and San Francisco on all of America, and it worked. The party that favors passing a constitutional amendment that would explicitly withdraw rights from a group of people for the first time in American history now has a stranglehold on moral values. The party that failed to take actions that could have helped prevent 9/11 and strengthen al-Qaeda by invading Iraq is the only one who can defend America from terrorism in the voters' minds. In this party, ignorance is strength. Boy, is that well said or what? Wow. Ignorance isn't just bliss. Ignorance is strength. And what was I saying all along during his campaign? Huh? The reason that America loved Bush is because he was as dumb or even dumber than they were. Made them feel better about themselves. Because, you know what they say about water seeks its own level?
Mm-hmm.
So does stupidity. So does like that. Like that I-4 corridor spelled just like that. That's how you spell it.
What's an apple?
You can't spell corridor without like you can't spell quagmire without Iraq. Well, then there's this other one about 9/11 anxiety, health push. I'm going to say it again, in spite of what you were voting on the poll, and I do understand there's a lot of tough choices. Without 9/11, there'd be no more W. Bush. He'd be on the way out. In fact, you know something? Probably without 9/11, he would have been impeached a long time ago over a lot of other things that have been going on. But, you know, we can't keep the eye on the ball. They're too busy, everybody trying to stay alive. And, of course, if this military adventurism of his really continues the way a lot of people think it will be, and we start invading, you know, Iran and Syria and North Korea and who knows where else, whenever we pick and choose, then you will need a draft. So those young people out there that didn't vote, or even the ones that did, woe is to you, man.
Yeah, I feel
that this bastard got in there again. And if there's anybody who thinks, see, that's the one good thing about this show is we don't really give a crap, you know? In other words, we're going to tell it the way we see it, and we're not going to suck up to a bunch of religious nuts or any of this other crap, okay? You're crazier than a bedbug, and you're entitled to be as crazy as a bedbug, but the rest of the world is scared crapless of you, and we just can't deal with it. We're not going to tolerate it. We're going to continue speaking out against it. Screaming out against it. Screaming.
Blaming.
That, too. That's why we needed Howard Dean. We needed a screamer in there. Is what we needed. Yeah, that's right, but I do not choose to run.
You what?
I just choose to waddle. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I wanted to say, all these people who voted for Bush, I hope you people get what you want. I hope he invades 3 more countries this time, sets up a couple more torture chambers, tortures more people. You know, I hope he ignores more evidence. Yeah, right, that one, you know. I hope he ignores more evidence that leads to another attack and then complains about how we never could have imagined that something like this could have happened.
And by the way, I hope all you people that voted for Bush, I hope that when he starts all these other wars, it's your kids that he sends over there to
yeah, exactly. I hope that he sends your kids, and then you people can cry about how, oh, you know, it's for freedom and all this other stuff. And you guys all approved all of this. You've given permission to do it. And I'm going with you to Canada, Neil.
Okay, see you at the border, Pally.
All right.
Don't forget to bring some smoked meat for the Montrealers. And I'll say it again like I did yesterday, because I'm sure that there are media types in the various South Florida bureaus where they listen to this show in a closet like the people at the Herald. You're a disgrace. You're an absolute disgrace. The American media has almost totally let the public down. In fact, remember when the New York Times had to run an article about how badly they failed? They had to apologize because they failed so badly on the whole Iraq thing. And that's pretty sad that they all got sucked in. And we don't hear one more word. The things that really counted that the people in the media should have been screaming to the public about, like Valerie Plame and the outing of her and the Joseph Wilson thing, and, of course, the Richard Clark thing, that book. I mean, there's so much evidence out there, man, but the problem is the average American doesn't read a newspaper, much less a book. So the Kitty Kelly book and the Richard Clark book and all this other information that was out there, and the internets, don't forget about the internets. So that's one of the reasons why I spend a lot of time on the show reading every day, trying to pass stuff along that people don't have the interest, inclination, or time to read. And it was worthwhile in South Florida anyway. Too bad we weren't national, you know. And those people that ripped Michael Moore, if we had 1,000 Michael Moores, I guarantee you that these Nazis wouldn't be in power today.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively. QAM.
You're taking us very personal.
Absolutely.
I took a call from Ebonics. They say the future be bright for me. Now I can't get no job, 'cause I don't got no literacy. I was talking like an old Negro. Ebonics taught me how this way. Now I can't do nothing, but my heritage says that's okay. Change my name to Shufro. Drive a deuce and a quarter, ain't a Cadillac. I remember when I was stealing all the white man's cars, hanging outside the Belvedere bar, crying the blues about poverty. White devils got no job for me, and I thought Ebonics would give my life a change. Now I got to go and sell more crack cocaine, 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 crack cocaine. Lordy, what a boring song. If
Ebonics makes me sound funny. Got nothing to do with literacy. Now I got to make more money. Labor food sounds good to me. I got plenty of nothing. Ebonics ain't getting me anywhere. Maybe I'll mug an old white bitch, steal a purse and full of hair. Then I'm gonna take the money, buy a stereo and a Frigidaire. I remember when I was stealing all the white man's cars, hanging outside the Belvedere bar, grind the blues out poverty. White devils got no job for me, and I thought Ebonics would give my life a change now. Got to go and sell more crack cocaine, 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 crack cocaine.
157, we got a crack in America, baby, right down the middle. We got a north and south problem again. We got the intelligent people and people who got an IQ larger than their little pinky. And then we got the Jesus Christers, man. Sean has a really good fax here to close us out today. He says, a previous faxer was miffed about the cerebrally challenged nature of the Bush voters, so I did my own analysis of the top 10 smartest states in the Union based on the Morgan Quinto Press Annual Survey 2003 and 4. Kerry won 8. 10 smartest states. Kerry won 8, Bush only 2, and only 1 if Iowa goes for Kerry, which I don't think, but it's very close. Of the 113 electoral votes represented by the 10 smartest states, Bush got only 10 of those votes, and only 3 if Iowa went for Kerry, and Kerry got all the rest. How do you like that? So in other words, in the places where people had an education, an IQ larger than a hairpin, Kerry won. Of the 10 dumbest states, where people are dumber than a box of rocks, Bush won 8 of those and Kerry only 2, and this is only because California's rating suffers from massive illegal immigration. All those illegal aliens were going to get a 57 Chevy and a whole bunch of food stamps from Bush. P.S. It says Mo Green wasn't especially on his guard against assassination, but he did keep an eye out. Says our good friend Sean. How do you like that? So the more you analyze and you sit around, you look, it's the educated against the Flat Earth Society. And that's why the rest of the world is like they just can't believe it. They're speechless. They're petrified. They're scared crapless. They're running around saying, this didn't really happen, did it? Wasn't this like a bad dream?
No.
Can 59 million people really be that stupid?
Yeah.
Yes. And, of course, religious fanatics and stupidity go hand in hand anyway, okay? Yeah. I mean, hocus pocus, if that's what you believe in. That American Gothic couple there in Columbus, Ohio. Man, when they find out that the Rimmers are Jewish and moving to their town, I hate to think what's going to happen then. You know, exactly. Wow. They'll be feeding them some free meals, all right. I can't tell you what they're going to be feeding them, though. Anyway, which of these is most accurate? Bush won the election because fear and stupidity, 350. Born-again nutjobs, 255. They stole it, 109. The Democrats are inept, 109, which they are. It was a better choice than Kerry, 104, 9.9%. Because of Karl Rove, 81. Because of 9/11, 31. He had more money behind him, just 5. And speaking of more money behind him, the Mad Dog is next.
Bye! Our special Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Come on in and lay down on my couch.
Bible says 2 men ought not lay together.